with the video up there.
And then I have like plans, etc. It's not to say that we can't. I just think sometimes August tends to get clusterfuck. So I think let's get it on the books for whenever.
2 years ago, the Stallions traveled up to Mohawk Valley to play the Diamonddawgs in the first time ever. This time, the script is flipped. The Stallions get to host the Diamonddawgs here at home for the first time, just the second time ever that these two teams are meeting up in the playoffs. Dan Shalom with you, alongside Casey DeSalle here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. Casey, this game should live up to the billing. Second round of the playoffs, win or go home, and it's between two squads that have been neck and neck with each other all season long.
Yeah, you mentioned neck and neck. I mean, the season between them, they're 1-1-1, a one loss, one win, and one tie each, and it's been very competitive in all three of those games. I mean, dating back to the last one when Eddie Yaman hit that grand slam to tie in the bottom of the eighth, that was probably one of the most exciting nights of my career here at Saugerties Stallions baseball. So I'm very excited to see the outcome of this.
Yeah, and we'll go back to that entire game in just a second, right? But we got to talk about this team first in particular for the Stallions. This is a historic squad, the best team ever in their franchise history, 29 wins on the season, and they're looking to continue that momentum into the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned the record, 29 wins and only had 11 losses. And, of course, those two ties, as you said, the best record in Stallions history. And this, what an accomplishment that is. This team has worked so hard for it all year long, and they deserve it very much. Just the pitching and batting all year has been superb.
There are some similarities to the last time the Stallions won the PGCBL championship, that being in 2021. For one thing, they were the number 2 seed. They set the all-time win record, and then on top of that, they went 3-7 against the Amsterdam Mohawks in the season. So maybe the stars are aligning for this squad. Once again, we're just going to have to wait and see. As we mentioned before, Stallions are the 2 seed. Oneonta Outlaws played these Mohawk Valley Diamonddawgs last night. Mohawk Valley coming in as the 3 seed, and that was just an absolute thrashing up there in Mohawk Valley.
Yeah, you mentioned that. It was a 12-2 victory last night for the Diamonddawgs over the Outlaws, and I was looking at the stats, and their top 5 guys batting tonight all at least had 2 hits. So those 5 guys are one to look out for tonight.
And I think the one to look out for in particular, Cristino Tufano. This guy is a beast. If Cade Ladahoff wasn't in the league, he would have been the PGCBL MVP.
Yeah, definitely. I believe he leads the league in RBIs as of right now, and he bats above a 300 average. He's just been phenomenal for the Diamonddogs all year long, and it's going to be a tough out tonight for the Saugerties Stallions pitching staff.
Yeah, and we look at the resume between these two squads playoff-wise, this just being the 10th game for the Stallions in the PGCBL postseason. As for the Diamonddogs, they're a much more postseason experienced squad. This will be their 20th game of all time here in the postseason. They've won the PGCBL twice, that one being in 2015, and then the second one being in 2017. And just to give you a little bit of context, Casey, every single champion or team that has played in the PGCBL postseason that eventually goes on to win has had to go through the Amsterdam Mohawks, either beating them or falling out to them. Why don't we refocus, though, on this game? And the starter on the mound tonight for the Stallions is Andrew Speranza.
Yeah, Andrew Speranza has been great for the Stallions all year long. I mean, 21 1/3 innings pitch, has a 1.26 ERA. That's phenomenal. Only given up 9 hits, 12 walks, has 28 strikeouts, and only has really given up 3 earned runs on the year.
Yeah, and he just needs to keep things going. We know that the Stallions saving those higher-level arms like Zach Morris for a potential matchup tomorrow night, but they got to get by the Diamonddogs, which has not been easy so far this season, a 1-1-1 record, and last time these two teams met up, the Stallions went down by 5 runs in the first inning.
Yeah, we talked about it right when I said at the beginning of the show. Eddie Yaman's grand slam really helped him out in that game to tie it in the bottom of the 8th, and then Mario Chavella walked it off by stealing on a pass ball and winning the game for the Stallions. But head-to-head all season, I mean, the numbers are very close. As we mentioned, 1-1-1. The Stallions are batting a 250 average, and the Mohawk Valley Diamonddawgs are batting a 221. And, I mean, ERAs are not that far apart either, Dan.
No, not at all. These teams are near equal in every single category. It makes sense why these two squads are with each other right now. Another thing that we have to talk about, Casey, is the bats for this Stallions squad. They've been on fire, but have had a little bit of struggles lately down the stretch in this regular season.
Yeah, especially the last 2 games. I think they only had 3 hits, I want to say, against Utica on Saturday night. And then last night, or not last night, excuse me, Sunday night, they had a little bit of struggles as well, although they did come out on top over the Glens Falls Dragons.
And I think a worrying thing for the Stallion squad is they're only 5-10-1 against the other top 3 teams in this PGCBL. If you take them out, it's concerning going into this playoff game.
Yeah, definitely. When your record against the top 3 teams is below 500, it's very concerning going into the playoffs because that's when you're going to face all these great teams like the Mohawks and tonight the Diamonddawgs. So Stallions going to have to really come out strong if they want to win this one tonight.
And the real thing that needs to come out strong is the pitching. We mention it over and over and over again. You can leave as many runners left on base as you want, but if your pitching isn't there to support you, you're not going to win ball games.
Thankfully for the Stallions, the pitching has pretty much been there all season long. They have a 3.5 ERA, which is second in the PGCBL. They have 327 strikeouts. They give up 179 walks, 289 hits, 166 runs, and 128 of those were earned. So they've just been really good all year, and that's a testament to why they've won so many games.
They've won so many here at home, but the last time they beat the Diamonddawgs here at home, it was a little bit of a struggle. Let's take a look back at that game. These two squads really went at each other. It was a true battle of the heavyweights, to say the least. I mean, the highlights. There we go. Stallions against Diamonddawgs. At this time last year, the Stallions were only 4 games out of first place. Marciano Neglia on the mound. Cristino Tufano will get things started just how he wants to tonight with a double. And then immediately after him, he would be knocked home by nobody else than Luke Nomura.
Yeah, I mean, putting up a 5 spot in that first inning against the Stallions is the reason they put so much pressure on them in that game, but the Stallions were able to rally later in the game, as we talked about.
Yeah, you see it's 1-0 here. Diamonddawgs weren't done there, though. They wanted to add on 2 more. Brody Rasmussen at the dish. He would double to get to second. Then Justin Hurd would bring them home with a 2 RBI single of his own. Score 3-0. Hey, why don't we add a couple more if you're the Diamonddawgs? Max McGlone, 2 RBI double, makes the score 5-0. Really challenged the Stallions in this ball game. Seeing if they had heart, we really hadn't seen it. Byram Hott would score on a triple right there, and then it was just chip away, chip away, chip away for this squad. Matt McIntyre knocking another run home, 5-2, bottom of the 7th. But the Diamonddawgs said, "Hey, let's add some more to that lead." They would add in 2 more in that top of the 8th inning to make the game 7-2. And then, who else but Eddie Yaman? A grand slam that really jolted this squad.
Yeah, definitely the biggest highlight, I think, for the Saugerties Stallions this whole season. That grand slam changed momentum of that game, and also it kind of changed momentum for the Stallions' next few games because they were struggling before that game.
Yeah, and then Mario Trivello would steal home, and that's your ball game. Last time these two teams met up, an 8-7 victory. The Diamonddawgs haven't won here at Canton Field since 2023. And the last 4 games between these two squads, all decided by 1 run. Casey, if you had to pinpoint one thing, what's the key to the game tonight for the Stallions?
I would certainly say putting pressure on the opposing pitching tonight is the key for them to win. Starting off, they have Bo Buckley, not their best arm at the moment, but he does have a lot of strikeouts coming into this one. He does have the most hits given up on this team, though. So if they want to win ball games, they have to be aggressive early in the box. And
we saw the Stallions face up against Brian Rios last time. Absolutely shut down this squad till the Stallions could get to the bullpen. Wondering if we'll see something similar here tonight at Canton Field. We're just about ready for first pitch. We're going to step aside when we come back. We'll get you starting lineups and have baseball here from Canton Field. Stay right with us. For just the second time ever in the playoffs, we have Mohawk Valley versus Saugerties. Second straight year in a row that the Stallions are hosting a playoff game and hoping to reach the East Division Final for the second straight year as well. Dan Shalom with you, alongside Casey DeSell here in the Pack Up broadcast booth. Casey, while these numbers might sound great for the Stallions, they're going against one of their most toughest opponents in the entire PGCBL in the Mohawk Valley Diamonddawgs here at home tonight.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit on the pregame show. I mean, the Stallions second seed, Mohawk Valley Diamonddawgs third seed, and they really have been playing them well all year long. Between the three games, they're 1-1-1, so really just competitive all around.
Why don't we take a look now at the Diamonddawgs starting lineup here tonight. It'll be Diego Tavares to lead things off, then Cristino Tufano over at second. Brody Rasmussen in the 3-hole. He's been a killer this season in the PGCBL, to say the least. Ryan Frontera doing the DHing, then it's Bryce Phelps down in the 5-hole. Luke Nomura, the shortstop, he had an RBI against the Stallions last time the Diamonddawgs traveled here. Then Justin Hurd, who also had an RBI double of his own back here at Cantine Field. Levi McAllister in the 8-hole, then it's Ethan Hughes to end things off in the 9 spot, and they'll be going against the Marish product, Andrew Speranza.
Andrew Speranza this year for the Stallions has played 8 games. He started 3 of those, his 21 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 12 walks, 9 hits, has 28 strikeouts. Comes to this one with an ERA of 1.26 and also a record of 1-0.
Speranza, the lefty, switched from St. Thomas Aquinas over to Marist for next year, and he'll hope to give the Stallions a hot start here tonight. Last time the Diamonddawgs traveled down here to Saugerties, they took a 5-0 lead in the top of the first. That was against Marciano Neglia.
Yeah, but the Stallions weren't done there, Dan. As we know, the story goes, the Stallions were able to come back in the 8th inning and then walk it off in the bottom of the 9th.
Diamonddawgs have not earned a victory against the Stallions in the playoffs ever. Saugerties holding the season series in the postseason at 1-0. Speranza is ready to go. Tavares is ready to go. And we've got playoff baseball here from Cantine Field. First pitch misses upstairs for ball 1.
Yeah, Andrew Speranza, in his last start against Albany, he went 2 innings strong, only giving up a walk, and he had a strikeout.
That one misses upstairs. It's 2-0. Tavares, a monster this season with the Diamonddawgs, batting just a couple ticks under 300. And in last night's game, went 3 for 5 with an RBI against the Oneonta Outlaws.
He has 23 RBIs on this season, along with 40 walks. That's an impressive number right there.
Speranza finds the zone for his first strike of the night, and it's 2-1.
And these first 5 guys that Speranza's going to face tonight are definitely going to be challenging, all of them at least having 2 hits against Oneonta last night.
Speaks volumes to the depth on the Diamonddogs squad. A cut and a miss right there from Tavares, and the knots counted at 2-2.
Speranza in his first at-bat doing a good job of battling back, went down 2-0 to start, and now is even the count at 2s.
The pitch. Strike 3 gets him swinging. First batter that Speranza faces tonight, he gets him to strike out, and there's 1 out here in the top of the first.
That's a good sign from Speranza on the mound right there. I mean, you saw him get behind 2-0, but he did not panic at all and was able to come back 3 straight pitches, 3 strikes, and strike out Tavares.
Cristino Tufano will be next for the Diamonddogs. He's over at second tonight. Takes the first pitch outside. Tufano was undoubtedly the best hitter on this Diamonddogs team in the regular season. Batted just above 360, 18 RBIs with 10 extra base hits.
Yeah, and last night he went 2 for 3 with 2 walks and RBI and 3 runs scored.
Speranza finds the zone. It's 1-1. Crucial for Andrew Speranza on the mound. to limit the damage here in the top of the first. The top 5 hitters for these Diamonddogs, some of the best in the entire league. Called strike 2 at the knees. Speranza searching for back-to-back strikeouts to start off this ball game.
Yeah, we've already seen Speranza strike out Taveras in this one, and on the verge of striking out Tufano right now. He does lead this team with strikeouts. He has 32 coming into this game.
Tufano takes it down low. It's 2-2. Here's the pitch. Strike 3, he's got him looking. Back-to-back Ks for Andrew Speranza to start off this outing, and there's 2 quick outs here in the top of the first.
It's a very good sign to see. Once again, I mean, striking out the first 2 guys of the outing for Speranza is huge. It's going to boost his confidence, and the bats are going to get right behind him if he gets out of this inning 1, 2, 3. But of course, he's got a really tough task at the plate right now, Dan.
Yeah, the guy he's got to face to finish off this inning is Brody Rasmussen, the center fielder. If you thought that Tufano's numbers were good, you should take a peep over at Rasmussen's. The 2-3 combo for this team, once again, been nearly the best in the entire PGCBL. Rasmussen batting just above a .320 in the regular season, and he had a home run last night against the Outlaws.
Yeah, in the regular season for the Diamonddogs, Rasmussen led this team in so many categories. He had 53 hits, which he was tied for the lead in doubles, had 9 of those, tied with triples, had 2, led the team in home runs, led the team in RBIs. He's just been a monster for this team all year long.
Diamonddogs have taken down the Stallions before. That was up in Mohawk Valley. That was a doubleheader. Stallions tied the first game, ended up losing the second game. They got their revenge back here at Cantine Field. Season series sitting out 1-1-1. Speranza deals. That one misses upstairs. Diamonddogs have never taken down the Stallions in the postseason, and it's the first time they've come to Cantine Field in a playoff situation. .30 pitch. Right down the middle for strike 1.
We saw Speranza battle back in that first at-bat. He's going to really have to battle back right now. 3-1 count, probably the best hitter in this lineup.
The wind, the kick, the pitch. Misses with the off-speed outside. It's a 2-out walk here for Brody Rasmussen. Ryan Frontera will step in now for the Diamonddogs. There's a runner at first, 2 outs here in the top half of the first. Frontera doing the DHing tonight.
Frontera last night, he went 2 for 5, had a triple in that one with 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored. So, once again, just not really getting any breaks early in this game.
Speranza gets him to pop up to the right side. Ford moves over. It's a clean top half of the first here in this single elimination playoff game against the Diamonddogs for Andrew Speranza. Andrew Amato, Nate Manley, Mario Trivella coming to bat for the Stallions in the bottom half of the first. Bottom half of the first here at Cantine Field. Casey, there's two players in this lineup with playoff experience. One of them being Andrew Amato to start off this game, and the other Josh Blackmore. Amato leading off tonight. Gives us a chance to look at the starting batting order for these Stallions as they'll look to try and get ahead against the Diamonddogs for the first time here at home. Amato to lead things off like we mentioned. Then it's Nate Manley in the 2-hole. He's batting just above a 345. Mario Trivella down there at 3. Eddie Yaman cleaning things up. Then it'll be Brandon Fish. Justin Ford, the best hitter of the season. He's in the 6-hole. Ryan Resio, Josh Blackmore, and Tyler Bach, the starting 9. And they'll be going against Bo Buckley.
Yeah, Bo Buckley this season for the Diamonddogs, he has pitched in 9 games. 8 of them were started. 38 innings pitched. He has 34 strikeouts, given up 6 walks, and 42 hits, which does lead the team. He's given up the most hits on this Diamonddogs squad. Has a 5.44 ERA and a record of 3-1.
So definitely an easier starter for these Stallions than last time they faced Brian Rios. At the time, he didn't let up a singular run. That was through 21 and a thirds innings pitched. Buckley trying to establish the same dominance here tonight. That's a 1-1 count here to Amato.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Rios' ERA right now, it's at a .52, which is unbelievable. Above 30 innings pitched as well. He's just been so dominant on the mound for the Diamonddogs all year round. Thankfully, the Stallions don't face him tonight.
And Amato, last year in the playoffs, featured in 2 contests, 8 at-bats. In that time, a double, a home run, 3 RBIs, a walk, and a strikeout. Sported a 375. So a guy that you want up at the top of the order in a playoff game.
Yeah, definitely has that playoff experience. Looking to bounce back after that game in Glens Falls on Sunday night. He went 0 for 2 in that one with a walk, a sacrifice fly, a strikeout, and a run.
2-2. This is down low. Amato's worked himself into a full count. The Delaware product, more than used to walking. He's got 24 on the year. He's got more base on balls than he does hits. Here's the payoff. Hit over to the right side. Tavares gloves. He'll take it to the bag for out number 1.
Before he grounded out right there, I was just going to mention his on-base percentage this year is .528 coming into this one. He's just been on base half the time he's ever hit a dish, and that's just something you can't overlook.
Nate Manley will dig in now. It's Manley's first matchup that he's played in 2 games. Last one he featured in was the second game of that Albany doubleheader on July 26. Went 2 for 3 in that one. Stallions are hoping that he can provide a surge to this offense with Peyton Bond still not back to the squad.
Yeah, especially, I mean, looking at his average all year round, 346 is nothing to look over when you're looking at the lineup card for the other team. I mean, he's just been so great at the plate. Has 14 RBIs as well. And another guy that walks a lot, has 23 walks.
Buckley misses upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out here in the bottom of the first to Nate Manley. Stallions, the 2 seed. The Diamonddogs, the 3 seed. Saugerties had off yesterday. We're awaiting to see who they would play. Got the highest remaining seed, that being Mohawk Valley, setting up tonight's single-game elimination bout between these 2 teams. 3-1 count.
Let me just say it's so important that they got that day, extra day off right there to start off the postseason. I mean, they get to rest while Diamonddogs have to play 2 games in a row. It's just such an advantage.
Pitch misses upstairs. It's a 5-pitch walk for Nate Manley, and there'll be a base runner with 1 out here in the bottom of first.
Nate Manley walks, and that'll bring up Murray Trivella, who leads his team in walks. That's 28 of those.
We usually see Trivella up there at the top of the lineup. Today he's in the 3-hole, but you can't tout him for that. His OBP and on-base percentage is nearly at a 1 dot mark. He'll take a first pitch in the ball. He's been a walk machine, to say the least, and it's showing.
Yeah, I mean, he leads the team in walks and also leads the team in runs scored. I mean, that's why he's been such a great leadoff for the Stallions all year. It's 34 runs scored, which is 3rd most in the PGCBL.
Manley is at first. There's one out here in the bottom of the first. Trivella fouls that one off to the right side. It's 2-1.
Manley over there at first base. Only has 2 stolen bases on the year, so not really a threat to go.
Trivella hits this one over to third. It's a tailor-made doubled play. Over to first, it's in time. 5-4-3 to end off this bottom half of the first. Stallions strand none. They go down 1-2-3 as we head to the second. Still no score. Top half of the second here from Canton Field. Still no score in this ball game, and some people might say, well, that's normal, but when these two teams meet up, you usually expect something in the first, and it's big for the Stallions that they didn't allow a run to score in that top half of the first.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for them, the key tonight is getting ahead early and then putting pressure on the opposing team lineup, the Diamonddogs lineup. The more they keep them off the base paths, the better for the Saugerties Stallions pitching staff. I am curious to see how long Speranza does stay in this game, because this year, the farthest he's gone is 3 2/3 innings, but I'm wondering if it'll be different in the playoffs.
Yeah, you wonder. We really haven't seen a Stallion starter go past 4 innings at any time, so it's going to be interesting to see how head coach Colin Martin plays things as time goes on. First pitch here to Bryce Phelps, misses upstairs for ball 1.
Yeah, of course, talked about saving arms for tomorrow. 3 of those guys I know that are being saved for tomorrow are Dertinger, Keefe, and Morris. So we won't see them tonight in this game.
This one's hit into left center field. Amato is chasing. That one hits off the wall and goes out of play. It's a ground rule double.
So Speranza's going to have to work with a man on second base now with no outs. And as we talked about, this lineup goes pretty deep. It's going to be a tough task for Speranza to get out of this inning without letting a run score.
Next up here for the Diamonddogs will be Luke Nomura, the shortstop. Nomura this season, another guy that batted above 300. Runner at second, nobody out here in the top half of the second. Nomura delivered an RBI single the last time these two teams met here at Canton Field to put the Diamonddogs ahead 1-0. Trying to do the same thing here in the top of the second. Swings with the first pitch he sees for strike 1.
Early in this one, Speranza has gotten a lot of swings and misses against the Diamonddogs, so
the 0-1. Speranza quickly gets ahead. It's 0-2.
I thought he used the curveball in the 0-1 count to get no more ahead of that pitch. Probably set him up for something in the dirt right now.
Phelps leads off of second. Here's the 0-2. Speranza misses upstairs, and you don't hate the waste pitch there in that situation.
You definitely don't hate the waste pitch there. I mean, an 0-2 count, you're not trying to let Nomura hit the ball anywhere because that might advance Phelps at second base. So just trying to get a strikeout that would be huge for Speranza right now.
Speranza deals. He misses upstairs once again. It's 2-2.
You only get so many waste pitches before you have to start really throwing strikes because you don't want to walk Nomura here with no outs and have first and second.
Nomura went 0 for 3 last night, did have a walk. Trying to change his fortune here in the 2024 postseason. Smacks this one to the left side. Phelps is going to hold at third. There's runners at the corners with nobody out here in the top of the second.
It's a good at-bat there from Nomura. He went down 0-2, but was very patient, saw 2 high fastballs go by. That puts a little pressure on Speranza, so he has to make a pitch inside the zone, and he gets a curveball, and he hits it hard into left field.
And there's only one lefty in this starting 9 here for the Diamonddogs, and it's worked out for them, especially with Speranza being a lefty, excuse me.
Yeah, definitely going to be a major advantage for them tonight with Speranza on the mound. That really plays into the fact of how long will Speranza go being lefty against this righty-dominant lineup.
Diamonddogs trying to scratch their first run of the game and take an early lead. James Hurd, the third baseman, at the dish.
Hurd this year led the PGCBL in strikeouts, had 52. So right now Speranza has to attack him.
Runners are at the corners. There's nobody out here in the top of the second. Speranza misses twice outside. It's 2-0.
It's not the count you want to have to the guy that has the most strikeouts in the league. He should really be aggressive right now because he has to get these outs with no outs runners on first and third.
The 2-0 in there for strike one. Hurd, similar to Nomura, went 0 for 3 last night. He did, however, have an RBI. Batted .238 in the regular season, but hasn't found his stride yet here in the postseason. This one's popped up right by Manley. He won't have a play. Counts 2-2.
This is a big pitch here for Speranza. Strikeout is big in the scenario right now. With 1 out, it's much more manageable with first and third rather than no outs, bases loaded is what the situation could also be.
Yeah, if he's able to get the strikeout, it would also set up the double play. The 2-2 pitch. Hurd checked at it, holds up, and the count goes full.
Although Hurd does hit 52 strikeouts on the year, he also has 24 walks, so definitely not a stranger to seeing 4 balls go by.
For every 2 strikeouts that he basically has 1 walk.
Not a good ratio.
Runners are at the corners, full count, top half of the second, nobody out. Speranza deals. He misses outside, and the bases are loaded.
Speranza's definitely going to want that at-bat back. Had him 2-2, and just the next 2 pitches were balls. They weren't even close. One very low in the third, one high away, not even close to the strike zone.
And now a chance for the Diamonddogs to blow this game wide open. Levi McAllister steps in. He's the catcher tonight.
And McAllister this year hasn't been the greatest batter. That's a .224 if you take into account last night's game. And also 19 RBIs, 17 walks in the regular season.
Bases are loaded. Nobody out here in the top of the second. Corners are in. First pitch from Speranza misses outside. Struggling with control to start this inning, and we'll see Rich Doobie take a trip to the mound.
This is the exact start that Stallions did not need out of Speranza. I mean, talk about them going down early, and that just puts so much more pressure on the lineup and pitchers to come in to try and hold that lead to a minimum, but they can still get out of this inning. It's just going to be very hard for them to do so.
It's not like we haven't seen the Stallions come back before, because they did come back from a 5-0 deficit, but in the postseason, it's a lot more difficult.
And that's what I was going to mention. It's so the stakes are so much more high here, the competitive level. It just really adds to the pressure, and it's going to be much tougher if it gets to a 5-run deficit in the bottom of the 8th again for the Stallions not to come back.
McAllister, 19 RBIs on the season. That's about average for this league. Really, any ball in play that's hit hard enough will score a run.
Yeah, definitely. Even a double play will score a run in this scenario here. The only thing that McAllister cannot do is strike out if he wants to score a run in this at-bat.
Or ground out to the third baseman or the
too.
first baseman, Yaman or Fish. They'll throw home for the double play.
So really, yeah, Speranza's looking to roll a ground ball to either those two guys or a strikeout would be big in the scenario, right?
We see Liam Powell warming in the bullpen right now for the Stallions. We'll see how long Speranza's leash is in this situation. The 1-0. Pitch is fouled right back by McAllister. The count's 1-1.
Pitching coach Rich Dewey works his magic there. First pitch after the meeting, a strike.
You usually see it. He locks these pitchers in and then tells them something, which puts them in the right direction.
Yeah, he always usually comes in after someone's thrown one ball in that bat because he wants to make sure that pitcher hasn't found it after a walk or a hit previous.
Bases are loaded. Here's the 1-1. Chopped foul again by McAllister, and now Speranza is one strike away from a punch-out, which he desperately needs.
Definitely the scenario with bases loaded, no outs. You need a punch-out or a double play to home if you don't want any runs to come across.
Phelps at third, Nomura at second, Hurd at first, McAllister at the dish. Here's the 1-2. McAllister just stays alive, and the count stays at 1-2.
And McAllister was very ahead of that curveball from Speranza. Luckily, he was ahead because Speranza hung that, and if he waited on it, he definitely could have done some damage.
Just needs to put a ball into the outfield, and the Diamonddogs will have a 1-0 lead. Speranza deals. A nice job by Manley behind the plate to block that one.
Yeah, it's a great job by Manley behind the plate. Also, really like that pitch there from Speranza. A waste pitch on the plate. It gets a lot of swings and misses usually. Just McAllister does a good job not biting on that one.
Bases loaded. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Levi McAllister. The pitch. Hit out into center field. Should be deep enough to score a run. Bach grabs it. No tag to third from Nomura. Diamonddogs lead 1-0 here in this single-game elimination playoff game.
That's just a picture-perfect at-bat from McAllister there in the 8-hole. Has bases loaded. He's in a 1-2 count. Sees a ball go by, and then he just hits a fly ball to center field, and that just does a job. It puts the first run on the board for this team. It puts more pressure on the Stallions.
So the Diamonddogs take the lead here at Cantine Field once again. Still 2 runners on base with 1 out. Ethan Pugh steps in. He'll take a first pitch strike.
The Pews last night against Onihanta, so excuse me, went 2 for 4 and a double. Like she had 2 doubles, excuse me, and 2 runs.
The 0-1. Misses on the inside. Counts 1-1 here to Ethan Pughes. Pughes had himself a night last night. 2 for 4, 2 doubles in that one, and came around to score twice. Speranza misses down low. 2 balls, 1 strike.
This is a big pitch here to Pughes. Does not want to make the count 3-1, and if it gets to 3-1, Pughes has been seeing the ball well as of last night.
Pughes hits this one foul to the left side, and we'll give you a little bit of an in-game score update. The Amsterdam Mohawks leading the Watertown Rapids 6-0 through 3 innings of play at Shuttleworth Park. Whoever wins this game, if Amsterdam gets the victory against Watertown, will go and play them tomorrow night at Shuttleworth. 2-2. Strike 3, he got him swinging. And there's 2 outs here in this top of the second.
Really just a great bounce back after that walk to Hurd. I mean, he gets that sacrifice fly, gives a run, but then gets a strikeout to Pughes, and now he's 1 out away from stranding 2 runners on base.
It'll be the top of the order here for the Diamonddogs. Diego Taveras stepping in. Taveras struck out swinging for the first out of this ball game. Speranza looking to do the same here with 2 runners on and 2 outs here in the top of the second. Off speed, misses upstairs. We've seen him have trouble locating that pitch.
I was just going to mention, we've seen him throw that curveball high at least 3 or 4 times in this inning. And one of them drew a walk that was to Hurd earlier, and he also threw it high to McAllister, who fouled it off.
Fastball has been his bread and butter in this outing. It's 1-1.
Yeah, he did get Tavares 2 strikeout on that fastball in the first inning, so be interesting if he goes back to the well to strike him out here again.
One ball, one strike. Tavares is going to step out. The Wagner product had a brilliant night last night, 3 for 5 in RBI. Came around and scored 3 times. Trying to help his team in this at-bat. He'll take strike 2.
Speranza now 1 strike away from getting out of the situation with runners on first and second, and that'd be a big out for him.
The 1-2. Strike 3, he's got him swinging. Speranza produces back-to-back strikeouts to end off this top of the second, but not before the visiting team strikes first. Mohawk Valley leads at 1-0. Bottom half of the second here at Cantine Field. Diamonddogs striking first in the visiting half of this second. It could have been a lot worse, though. Andrew Speranza doing a great job limiting the damage.
I mean, he started off the inning giving up a double to Phelps and then a single to Nomura, and followed up by a walk to Hurd. But then he was able to get a sacrifice fly and 2 strikeouts to get out of it, just giving up 1 run. So he was able to settle down in that inning. Curious to see if he'll be back out for the third.
Keeps it close. Eddie Yaman steps in. He was the Pac-Hub player of the game when the Stallions took an 8-7 victory over the Mohawk Valley Diamonddawgs here at home. He had a grand slam in that one to tie the game at 7-7. He'll take a first pitch strike.
And I must say, that definitely is the highlight of the year, if you ask me, for the Saugerties Stallions. I mean, what a clutch home run that was, a grand slam to tie in the bottom of the 8th. Those are moments you dream about as a ball player growing up.
Finds himself quickly in an 0-2 count. Yaman finished just above 200 to end off this regular season through 16 games. Hits this one into left field. That ball is just foul. Count stays at 0-2.
One thing these Stallions hitters need to know is Buckley's not afraid to pitch in the strike zone. He has 34 strikeouts this year, but he's also given up 42 hits. So very hittable, and he's pitching a lot in the zone.
That's what happens when you're a contact type of pitcher. Get hit around, but also find lots of strikeouts. Searching for his first of the night right here. Yaman grounds it foul. The count stays no balls and 2 strikes. Diamonddogs striking first. Stallions looking to respond here in the bottom of the second. Buckley deals. He misses down low. It's 1-2.
Good take there from Yaman, just a fastball on the inside corner. Just misses the plate. Hopefully he gets another fastball on the inside that he likes a little bit more.
1-2. Yaman grounds it to the left side. Hurd throws across the diamond. In time. One down here in the bottom of the second.
It looks like he just got on top of that. It was kind of odd, though. I mean, it was a high fastball, and he got on top of it. You don't see that very often, maybe kind of an uppercut swing there from Eddie Yaman to produce that ground ball.
Brandon Fish will come to the dish now for the Stallions with one out here in the bottom of the second.
Didn't know you were working on your rhyme schemes there, Dan.
Just works. He'll take a first pitch ball.
I mean, he's been such an impact once he got here 12 games ago. Fish has been almost in the lineup every night, it seems, and rightfully so. He's just been great at the plate.
Yeah, sporting a 333 slash line in the regular season, 4 RBIs, 12 walks, 5 stolen bases. That all in 12 games, like you mentioned, filled the role of Byram Hott, who went to the Wareham Gateman in the Cape Cod Baseball League perfectly. Has truly been just a contact type of hitter, not trying to do too much at the plate.
Yeah, it definitely reminds me a lot of Fritz Genther, who was also a part of this team early on in the season.
And it's funny you mentioned Fritz Genther. He, of course, was on the squad to start the season. He went to UMass Lowell. Fish also at UMass Lowell. He's entering his senior season.
Someone tells me they have a very good hitting coach out there at UMass Lowell, because those two guys can definitely rake at the plate.
Fish works himself a 5-pitch walk. It's the second base on balls dealt by Bo Buckley of this outing.
Yeah, in the last base on balls, that was dealt to Manley. Javella came up after him and grounded to double play, so hopefully Ford does not fall victim to double play right now.
And Ford is one of the best out of this entire starting 9. Led the team in batting average among qualified hitters in the regular season. He sported a 355, and on top of that, 31 RBIs. That's the number that really jumps at you.
Yeah, that number 31 RBIs in the regular season, that ranked 5th among players in the PGCBL, so one of the most productive guys at the plate.
Takes the first pitch he sees for strike 1. Fish gets his lead off of first. There's one out here in the bottom of the second. We'll give another check over on Fish. Second pickoff move of this at-bat.
Yeah, I mean, Fish in those 12 games, as we mentioned, he has 7 stolen bases, so definitely a threat to go over there at first.
Ford finds himself in a hole. It's quickly 0-2.
Ford this year does have 21 strikeouts, but also has 21 walks, so good ratio to have right there.
Another check over on Fish at first. They're being really wary of him.
And those 21 strikeouts, I mean, in 37 games. That's not even like a stat you even bother to look at. It's just, he's just been so great at the plate.
21 walks as well.
Yeah.
He takes a pitch at the knees. It's 1-2. Ford didn't play much at Seton Hall this past year. Batted .638 in high school, though, and is really showing it in the first time in his career where he's been a consistent starter at the collegiate level. Grounds this one to the left side, foul. Just the 10th playoff game in franchise history for these Stallions, trying to improve their record to 6-4 all time. Here's the 1-2. Ford hits it to the left side. Hurd throws over to second. On to first. Not in time.
Thankfully, after a walk this time, the Stallions don't fall victim to the double play. Ford able to hustle down the line over there and become safe, but it was very close to being almost a carbon copy of the first inning.
And you mentioned that first inning. First batter grounds out, then a walk, and then a double play over to third was nearly that here in the second, but Ryan Resio will get a turn at the dish. Ford is at first, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. He takes one high and inside for ball 1.
Resto in his last game of the year, actually. Against Glens Falls, he went over 3, was hit by a pitch in that one, and later came around to score. So,
You know what he also did? He came in to close out the ball game. Pitched the bottom of the 7th. Didn't let up any runs either.
a couple of position players that night came in to pitch.
Smokes this one over into right field. Hughes is on it for out number 3. Stallions strand 1 here in the bottom of the 2nd. They still trail it by 1 as we head to the 3rd. Top half of the 3rd here at Cantine Field. 1-0 Mohawk Valley. Cristino Tufano stepping into the dish. Casey, I feel like just every time Cristino Tufano gets up to the dish, I say his name wrong, without fail.
It's definitely a name you don't see very often, Cristino. I like it, though. Cristino Tufano has a nice ring to it. His parents did a good job with that one.
Went down looking in the 1st inning. Was the best hitter by average in this entire Diamonddogs starting 9 in the regular season.
I mean, between Tufano and Rasmussen, those first 2 guys are so hard to get out.
Tufano skies one into center field. Bach is there. 1 down here in the top of the 3rd.
So Speranza's had no trouble with the first 2 guys in this lineup so far tonight. But he did walk Rasmussen, who's coming to the plate right now.
Yeah, their top 2 is a combined 0 for 4, and you would really think that's where the Diamonddogs would attack you. But it's been the lower part of this lineup that's really gotten to the Marist product so far. Brody Rasmussen will step in now. He walked in the 1st inning. Takes the first pitch he sees for ball 1.
When he walked in the 1st inning, Speranza only threw him 1 strike. Someone tells me Speranza knows a lot about what Rasmussen has done this year, just trying to pitch around him.
The 1-0. Off-speed is really not working for Speranza tonight.
Yeah, you see it again there. The curveball he releases way too early, and it just causes it to be high.
He misses inside. It's 3-0, and now the game really starts to be played for head coach Colin Martin. When do you pull Speranza? It's a playoff game. We're not in the regular season anymore. This game does matter. We know Liam Powell is ready and waiting in the bullpen, as it's a 4-pitch walk here to Brody Rasmussen. It's his 2nd of the night.
Yeah, head coach Colin Martin definitely thinking about that right now, walking Rasmussen on 4 straight pitches. With only 1 out and runner on base, it could be a matter of time before Speranza gets out of this ballgame.
Ryan Frontera will dig in now for the Diamonddogs. He flew out over to right field to end off the top half of the 1st. Speranza deals a first pitch strike.
But maybe it's just Speranza not wanting to pitch to Rasmussen over there at first base because he comes right back at Frontura right now with a strike, almost right down the middle.
Could be something that he talked about with the coaching staff before the game. Pitch around this guy, very dangerous at the plate. But it's not like you're really going to find any easy out throughout this entire 9 for the Diamonddogs.
You're definitely not going to find an easy out anywhere. Just, I guess the way to look at it is the hardest out would be Rasmussen.
This one's fouled off to the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Ryan Frontera.
If Speranza strikes out Frontera right now, I mean, it's just guy on first base, 2 out. It's a very easy situation to work with.
Here's the pitch. This one's hit out into left center field. Amato is on his horse, and he makes a beautiful diving play for out number 2.
Yeah, that's a great play out there by Amato. He read that one right off the bat. Got a great jump and really just went full extension out there, almost Superman-like in left field.
What a play by Andrew Amato. And now with 2 out in this top half of the 3rd, we're going to see the first Dallas Hot Wieners called to the bullpen of this game. Andrew Speranza is off. Liam Powell coming on. And before we get to that, why don't we take another look at that beautiful play by Andrew Amato out there in left field.
Yeah, I mean, like, what a great play that was by Andrew Amato out there in the left. See him get the great jump off the bat and then just goes full extension in left center field to, I might say, save a run. Because if that gets by Amato, I think that Rasmussen definitely has the speed to come around and score.
Very speedy over there at
10
first.
stolen bases this year, so yeah, definitely a speedy guy over there.
Liam Powell is on the mound. Rasmussen is at first. Diamonddogs leading by 1 with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. We're going to step aside. Top half of the 3rd. Liam Powell on to pitch. Why don't you run us through his numbers, Casey?
Of course. Liam Powell for the Stallions this year has appeared in 14 games, only has started 1 of those. Has 22 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts. He's given up 11 walks, 16 hits, and has an ERA of 3.68.
First batter he's going to face is the left fielder Bryce Phelps. Phelps had a double in the top half of the 2nd that started the inning. He would eventually come around to score, which gave the Diamonddogs a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, you might think Speranza didn't have the best night, but actually, if you look at it,
Rasmussen is going to second. Throw is way offline by Manley. It's a stolen bag for Brody Rasmussen. And now there's a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
anyways, before I was interrupted by Rasmussen right there sitting second base, I was going to say Speranza actually did a really good job. I mean, he got out of that jam. He was in a really hard spot in that top of the 2nd inning when he had bases loaded, no outs, and only allowed one run to score. So just that one run is big for the Stallions going forward in this one.
Yeah, he leaves with a final line of 2 2/3 pitch, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Here's the 1-1. Powell finds the outside part of the plate for strike 2. The wind to kick the pitch. That one hits Phelps right on the elbow guard. So first batter that Powell sees, he plunks, and there's runners at first and second with 2 outs.
That's one of those you really want back as a pitcher. I mean, he had Phelps 1 and 2 right there, and he just hit him with a curveball on the elbow guard. That was a really loud sound from the elbow guard. I almost thought it was the bat, but it did make sense when I saw him turn around with that guard on.
Luke Nomura will step in now for the Diamonddogs. There's runners at first and second with 2 outs here in the top of the third. Powell misses down low for ball 1. Nomura had a single in the second. That pushed Phelps over to third and allowed Levi McAllister to bring him home via the sac fly. The 1-0. Misses down low again. It gets past Manley. Both runners will move up 90 feet.
So now you really go back to that last at-bat against Phelps when he had him 1-2, and now he hits him with that pitch. He's thrown 2 straight balls to Nomura here, and now he's got second and third. 2 balls, no strikes. You cannot make another mistake like that, or the Diamonddogs could score again.
And Manley's just going to want to talk things over here with Powell. Nomura has been a machine at the dish for this squad. 45 hits and 142 ABs. That gets you a .317 average. Also has 17 runs batted in on the year.
And it really just shows how deep this lineup does go for the Diamonddogs. I mean, even though everyone's not batting such a high batting average, they all do things in different ways.
2-0. Powell really is struggling with his control. 3 balls and no strikes here to Luke Nomura. At risk of loading the bases for the second time in this game. Powell deals. Called strike at the knees.
You hear the Diamonddogs bench is really loud over there, just trying to get in the head of Liam Powell on the mound.
They're known for that around the league. They like to get inside of the pitcher's head, and clearly it's working to an extent. Powell walks Nomura. The bases are loaded for the second time in this game for Mohawk Valley with 2 outs.
That's second time in this game and second inning in a row. Thankfully this time around, there's already 2 outs with bases loaded instead of no outs, which Speranza had.
Justin Hurd will be next for the Diamonddogs. The bases are loaded with 2 outs here in the top of the third. This one's flared to the right side. Ford is on it. Diamonddogs strand 3 here in the top half of the third, and we got to look back at that Andrew Amato diving catch as we head to the bottom of the third. Stallions still trailing by 1. Third, Diamonddogs still leading by 1. Josh Blackmore leads things off for the Stallions. They'll have 8, 9, and 1 to start off this bottom of the third.
As we mentioned at the top of the show, Blackmore does have PGCBL playoff experience here.
He fouls the first pitch back for strike 1. He is the only other member besides Andrew Amato to play on the 2023 Stallions.
Yep. We did have Sean Shipley for a very short while, another guy, but he is no longer on the team.
That one misses upstairs. 1-1 count here to Blackmore. The Weber product didn't register a hit in 7 at-bats last year in the playoffs. Hits this one right back to Buckley. He flips to first for out number 1.
Blackmore did not hit that ball very hard at all. He got on top of it and chopped it right back to Buckley on the mound there for an easy out 1.
Tyler Bach will step in now for the Stallions. He hasn't played in a week. Last appearance being against Amsterdam here at home. Went 0 for 2 in that one with 2 walks.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about what a great second leadoff Tyler Bach is in the 9 spot. He has 24 walks on the season, bats .271. He also has 23 runs scored, so he just finds a way on base and then he finds a way home with the guy top of the order kind of behind him.
Needs to get things going for the Stallions. He'll take a strike. Saugerties still without a hit in this ballgame. Bach hits this one into shallow right field. Hughes is there, and there's 2 down here in the bottom of the third.
We talked about these struggles that the Stallions have been having lately. I mean, against Utica, they only had 3 hits, and although they beat Glens Falls, it wasn't really an offensive overpower.
And I think the game you really have to revert back to is the Utica game. That was 2 contests ago for this squad. They only registered 3 hits and ended up losing 2-0 here at home to the Blue Sox. Amato pops this one up to the left side. Hurd is under it. Stallions go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom half of the third. Diamonddogs lead by 1 as we go to the fourth. Top half of the fourth here from Cantine Field. Dan Shalom with you alongside Casey DeSell in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. Time to look at our in-game stats presented by Pack Hub, and so far everything going the Diamonddogs' way. They're up by 1. They got 2 hits on the day. The Stallions, though, do lead in strikeouts.
Yeah, the Stallions pitching has actually been pretty good, although they have given up that 1 run. They stranded 6 guys out there, and they also have those 4 strikeouts, so they've been doing a good job on the defensive side of things, but the offense has been stagnant.
Levi McAllister will start things off here in the top of the fourth. He had the sacrifice fly in the second, which put the Diamonddogs up 1-0. Powell finds the zone for strike 1. Single elimination playoff game here tonight at Cantine Field. Whoever wins is most likely on to Amsterdam tomorrow, as that one's fouled back for strike 2. And both managers, Casey, are really going to be focused on limiting the damage if you're a pitcher. And, hey, if you're a batter, maybe it's time to switch to that Amsterdam Keith Griffin mindset and throw a different guy out there. If you lose this game, you're done.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to have to play the guys that need to get up on base for you if you have to. If you don't have anybody getting on base or coming across the score or anyone getting hits, rather, you have to sub that guy out because you're not going to have a chance to if you don't do it tonight. Just looking at McAllister in the box right now. He's a very compact stance.
He takes that one upstairs. It's 1-2.
A lot of weight on his back foot. I mean, very straight up, just very compact and really just explodes when he swings, takes a big step, and he has a home run this year. Oh.
Knocks that one into left field. It's a leadoff single for Levi McAllister here in the top of the fourth.
They got a fastball at the top of the zone there from Liam Powell and did not miss it. Hit it on the screws over Travella's head over there at shortstop.
Not the pitch that Powell wanted right there, especially in a 1-2 count with plenty of balls to use. Ethan Hughes will be next.
We've seen Powell has a little bit of control issues tonight, and it looks like he's been getting hit hard too as well.
And we'll see how long he will remain in this game. Vince Fusco is warming in the Saugerties bullpen. Mohawk Valley has no activity out there in their pen. Going to let Bo Buckley go as long as possible. He's done a great job so far. Hughes tries to lay down bunt. It goes foul. Counts 1-1.
I was going to say rightfully so. Buckley has been great for them on the mound so far tonight. I mean, 3 innings pitched, no hits given up, no runs, only 1 or 2 walks, excuse me.
McAllister is at first. There's nobody out here in the top of the fourth. Powell deals. Hughes tried to go back to bunt right there. He pulls it back. And the count's now 2-1.
That's a great save by Nate Manley behind the dish right there. Almost kind of had to backhand that one, and he almost dove to the outside the lefty's batter's box there.
Bunt is laid down this time by Hughes. Powell will go to first. Makes the throw, and there's one down here in the top of the fourth.
Really just a great sacrifice bunt there from Hughes. Lays it down. Little to no exit velocity on that, which is what you want in a bunt. Powell has to make the play, and McAllister easily advances second base.
And it's great for the Diamonddogs because now Diego Taveras will get a shot. The lineup card flips around for Mohawk Valley with a runner in scoring position and 1 out. Manley's going to want to talk this over here with Powell.
Yeah, it's a good idea to talk it over with Powell right before the top of the order comes up because this is the most dangerous part of this lineup, although tonight the first 2 guys are 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts between them.
Powell deals a first pitch strike. Taveras' night at the dish already looking starkly different to last night where he went 3 for 5 against the Oneonta Outlaws with an RBI.
Yeah, those 2 strikeouts, the first and second inning. And that's what I was saying. Manley probably just telling Powell what to throw right now. He has seen Taveras to the mound at the plate twice, and he's struck out both times.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. A runner over at second. Taveras at the dish here in the top of the fourth. Powell deals. This one's fouled back to the left side, and the count goes to 1-2.
Taveras is in danger of the silver sombrero, Dan.
It's my favorite term.
It is your favorite term.
Plenty of time for him to get the golden one, too. This one's flared off to the left side. Fish will have a play, and he brings it down for out number 2.
It's a big out number 2 there for Liam Powell. It doesn't allow McAllister to advance at third base, so little less pressure now with Tufano coming up to the dish.
Tufano also 0 for 2 tonight. McAllister is at second with 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. First pitch from Powell is grounded foul for strike one.
And Powell doing a good job of getting ahead of Tufano here. Really needs to put the pressure on Tufano at the plate, not throw any balls inside of bat, and have it put the pressure on him.
Here's the 0-1.
A few almost diving type of plays behind the plate in this inning. Powell just trying to work the outside corner. He's just missing badly right now.
Finds the zone right there, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Cristino Tufano.
That's a great pitch following that fastball that got away from him. He went with a slider right there, and it caught the outside corner. And now it makes the count 1-2. Tufano is in a very high pressure situation.
Here's the pitch. Strike 3, he gets Tufano swinging. No drop, third strike, so Powell leaves a runner stranded here in the top half of the 4th, gets out of the inning by way of the punch-out. Diamonddogs leading by 1 as we head to the bottom. Bottom of the 4th here at Cantine Field. Dan Shalom with you alongside Casey DeSalle. Casey, this offense has been pretty dormant throughout 3 innings so far. No hits on the board and only 2 base runners, both of those coming by way of the walk.
Yeah, we normally talk about Stallions and runners on base, but they've had nobody on base to leave out there, really. I mean, just those 2 walks in the first 3 innings, and one of them was out by double play. So you really have to put runners on base and put some pressure on Buckley on the mound, because we know Buckley can give up runs. He has a 5.44 ERA, and he leads his team in giving up runs and earned runs, 25 runs given up and 23 earned runs given up.
Nate Manley will lead things off here in the bottom of the 4th. Fouls that one off behind the plate. Stallions have 2, 3, 4 coming up, so a chance to change the rhetoric so far in this game here in the bottom of the 4th. That one finds the zone. It's quickly 0-2.
I have to say the Stallions are really only in this one because of the pitching staff so far. I mean, although they've allowed that first run to score, they've just done such a good job leaving runners on base tonight.
Misses down low. You mentioned the left on base. Mohawk Valley so far in this game, 7 through 4 innings of hitting. They've also had the bases loaded twice.
Yeah, so that really just shows how good of a job they've done working with runners on base. And that's something you really need in the playoffs, because you're going to get a lot of pressure early in games and definitely towards the later half of games. So if they can rock with that through the postseason and hopefully get out of this game tonight, it'll be big against the Mohawks tomorrow if they play them.
Manley chops that one foul. Count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Buckley deals. Misses down low. The count goes full. Manley walked in his first plate appearance. He was the first base runner of the game for the Stallions, and trying to start off this bottom of the 4th the same way as his first at-bat by way of a base on balls. He'll do just that. It's a leadoff walk for Nate Manley here in the bottom of the 4th.
The last time Nate Manley walked, though, Trabello came up and hit a ground ball double play to the third baseman heard. So hopefully Trivella does not repeat that.
Trivella ended off his regular season here in the PGCBL just below a 300 average. Was one of the most consistent hitters on the entire team. Tries to lay down bunt right there. And we're seeing a different brand of baseball out of these Stallions. You rarely see the small ball, but they realize they need it right now in this single elimination game.
Definitely realizing no one's really gotten a hit so far in this game. No one's really hit the ball hard either, so they're just trying to move that runner over and put some more pressure on Buckley on the mound.
Trivella fouls that one off. It's quickly 0-2.
So that now eliminates the bunt opportunity for Trivella. But he does swing a bat really well. As we mentioned, just below 300 in the regular season. Also 23 RBIs, 34 runs scored. So definitely a guy you want at the top of the order and in the situation.
We'll give a check over on Manley. The Wright State product, not really a speed threat, only
Definitely
had
not.
2 stolen bags on the year.
But he's been checked out a couple times tonight in the first inning as well.
Buckley deals. Trivella's right there. He fouls it straight back. Count stays at 0-2. Trivella's fouled 3 straight pitches off. Count stays at 0-2.
And he's doing a good job of protecting the plate right now. A lot of high fastballs coming in. He's just doing a good job of putting the barrel on him.
Here's the pitch. Trivella takes it down low. Seems like he did a little bit of the Soto shuffle right
The
there.
reverse shuffle, I liked it. He went right at the catcher's glove right there. It was kind of interesting to see.
Maybe just lost his
I
balance.
don't know what that was. He looked like he was staring the glove down.
He chases down low for strike 3, and there's 2 outs, or excuse me, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
So he won't repeat, but it's not much better than his first at bat. Trying to double play now. Strikeout for him.
Eddie Yaman will step in now. He takes a first pitch ball. The top 3 hitters for the Stallions in this game combined 0 for 4, Manley with the 2 walks, similar to the top 2 for the Diamonddawgs, who are 0 for 6 tonight.
And really, that's what stems from.
This one's hit over to short. Nomura throws to second. There'll be no play at first. But Manley is out over at second on the fielder's choice, and there's 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th.
Second time Manley has been out at second base tonight. But I was going to say, really, that's just stems from the Stallions' offensive struggles tonight. I mean, their top 3 guys really aren't doing it that well. I mean, Manley has been on base both times, but if they're not getting hits and moving the base paths around, then it's going to be tough for them to score runs.
Brendan Fish at the plate. He fouls the first pitch he sees back for strike 1. And you really go back to that bunt that Trivella tried to lay down. He missed on the first pitch of the at-bat. Would have eliminated the forced play at second.
Yeah, definitely would have eliminated that forced play at second base. And it's something they're definitely going to look back on if they go down to lose this game.
This game has been a pitcher's duel so far. Only 3 hits on the scoreboard. All of those credited to the visiting Mohawk Valley Diamonddawgs. Fish whacks this one into center field. It will get down. First hit of the ball game for the Stallions. They'll have runners at first and second with 2 outs.
It's a big at-bat there from Fish. Getting the first hit of this ball game, it gives Fish more confidence, and it gives the rest of this lineup more confidence because it shows that he can be hit, and it's a big time for that to come around.
Justin Ford steps in now. Definitely not the guy that you want at the plate if you're the Diamonddawgs in this situation. First pitch here from Buckley misses upstairs. Ford reached on a fielder's choice in the second, still searching for his first hit of the ball game.
Yeah, you mentioned if you're the Diamonddogs, you definitely don't want him at the plate, and it's because he has 31 RBIs on the regular season, which was 5th in the PGCBL.
It seems like Buckley is struggling a little bit with his control right now. 2 straight balls, and it's 2-0.
I'm curious to see how long until Diamonddogs put someone in that bullpen out there in right field.
The pitch. Popped up to the right side. Hughes is there, and he makes the play. Stallions strand 2 here in the bottom half of the 4th. Still searching for their first run of the ball game. Mohawk Valley leads it by 1 as we go to the 5th. Top half of the 5th here in Saugerties. We see the second Dallas Hot Wieners called to the bullpen of the game here for the Stallions. Vince Fusco is on to pitch in relief of Liam Powell.
Fusco for the Stallions this year has appeared in 7 games, has 4 games started, 20 1/3 innings pitched. He has 20 strikeouts. He's given up 12 walks and 24 hits and has an ERA sitting at 4.86 with a record of 2-2.
And it's interesting, Casey, in this game, Stallions going to their 3rd pitcher here in the 5th. The Diamonddogs still have nobody out in their bullpen.
I mean, Buckley has been fantastic for them on the mound, although he did have some base traffic last half inning. He was able to get out of it.
Stranded 2 Stallion runners. Saugerties only with 3 left on base, though, in the entire game. Shows how good Bill Buckley has been so far. Fusco deals a first pitch strike. It's his first outing since July 18th when he pitched against the Amsterdam Mohawks, so it's been a solid 12 days for this guy where he hasn't seen the bump.
And in that Amsterdam game, I mean, really, probably just shot his confidence way down. He gave up 7 runs in that one, all earned in just 3 innings. So hopefully a good bounce-back night for him here at Cantine in the playoffs.
He's got Rasmussen in an 0-2 count. Here's the pitch. Misses upstairs.
Rasmussen tonight has walked twice. He's only seen 1 strike besides the Fusco at bat right now.
Also has a stolen base on his line. Fusco deals. This one's popped up into shallow right field. Ford coming in, and he makes the play. 1 down here in the top of the 5th.
That's great communication out there by Ford and Racio. Racio knowing that Ford has the priority in that situation. When the outfielder's coming in, it's a much easier play than the infielder backing up.
Ryan Frontera will dig in now for the Diamonddogs. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Takes a first pitch strike here from Fusco. He's come out firing.
Yeah, Fusco's not messing around tonight on the mound. He's pitching with a lot of pace on there. After every pitch, he's right back on the mound, and it looks like that fastball's looking really lively tonight.
And for the Diamonddogs, the top four is struggling so far in this game. They're a combined 0 for 9, 2 walks credited to Brody Rasmussen, but their production has really come from the bottom 5 guys.
I mean, yeah, that's who's put the runners on base the most for them. I mean, they almost came around to score in that last half inning as well. McAllister, that would be.
Fusco's got another 2-strike count here on Frontera. The pitch. Misses down low. The count's 2-2. Top half of the 5th here in this single elimination playoff game. Winner most likely headed to Amsterdam tomorrow night. The 2-2. Off speed freezes Frontera for strike 3, and there's 2 quick outs here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, Fusco is definitely pitching with a purpose here tonight. Gets Frontera to freeze on that curveball, and it was gross. Really just, Frontera thought it was a ball the whole way, and it drops in there for strike 3. And it's good to see from Fusco because of that last outing when he gave up 7 runs, so hopefully he can turn things around here tonight. And he's doing a good job so far.
Bryce Phelps is next for the Diamonddogs. Fusco hits him. And there'll be a base runner here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. That is now the second Diamonddog of this ball game that has been hit by the pitch.
Actually, it's the second time that Phelps has been hit by a pitch tonight. So he's the only one that's been hit by a pitch. Just happened to be twice.
Luke Nomura will step to the dish now. 2 outs. Phelps over at first. Fusco misses down low. Stallion staff has dealt 6 walks so far in this ball game. The scoreline could be a lot worse right now with the mistakes that they've had on the bump.
Yeah, definitely. They've done a great job all night long of leaving runners on base. Phelps over there at first base only has 4 stolen bases in 37 games this year, so not really a threat to go. Also, there's 2 outs, so Fusco doesn't have to pay to him in this situation right now.
2-0 count here to Luke Nomura. The pitch. This is upstairs, and it seems like that one pitch to Phelps got in the head of Fusco a little bit. Finds himself down 3-0 here to Nomura.
It definitely, I mean, he got Frontera to strike out looking, and then he had Phelps in a 1-2 count before he hit him. So, I mean, it's just interesting to see how much that changes your mindset when you hit someone on the mound.
That one's a called strike at the knees. Nomura thought it was a ball. Joe Lassa Panera Sr. saying, hey, hop back in the box. It's 3-1. Nomura will earn his walk right there. It's a 5-pitch base on balls, and there's runners at first and second with 2 outs.
Also, definitely in a tougher situation than he could have been. He could have been out of this in 1-2-3, but with a hit by pitch and now a walk, he has to work with Justin Hurd at the dish and 2 runners on base.
Hurd 0 for 1 tonight, has a walk. Takes the first pitch he sees for ball 1. If Hurd can put a ball into the outfield, the Diamonddogs will take a 2-0 lead here in the top half of the 5th. Any run that either team can get across will be extremely valuable. This game has been as close as possible. It's 2-0.
Fusco really lost his control here in these last 3 batters. I mean, Justin Hurd is a guy you really just need to throw strikes to. Has 52 strikeouts on the year, which leads to PGCBL.
Fusco misses down low. That's now in his last 7 pitches. 6 of them have been balls.
If Fusco does walk Hurd right here, I'm sure we'll get a mound visit from Rich Doobie.
Levi McAllister waiting on deck. Fusco finds the zone. 3 balls and 1 strike here to Justin Hurd.
If Fusco needs to settle down right now. Just make these next few pitches really count.
The one that kicked the pitch. Beautiful curveball right there, and the count goes full.
Something you don't see very often is that 3-1 curveball right there. It freezes hitters a lot often because you don't expect a 3-1 curveball. You usually get a fastball in that count. That's why it's called a hitter's count.
Full count, 2 outs. Runners will be released. Fusco deals, gets Hurd swinging. Fusco gets himself out of the jam. Diamonddogs strand 2 here in the top half of the 5th. Still lead it by 1. Stallions coming to bat. Bottom half of the 5th, Bo Buckley, the starting pitcher in this game for the Diamonddogs, still out there. No reason to pull him. He's done a great job.
Hey, he's been really smooth on the mound so far for the Diamonddogs. I mean, he did have a little trouble in that bottom of the 4th, but was able to get out of it, getting Justin Ford, our best hitter, to fly out to right field.
He'll face 7, 8, 9 here in the bottom of the 5th, starting with Ryan Rescio. We do see a couple guys out there in that Mohawk Valley pen, but you would expect Buckley to try and produce a 1-2-3 inning here and then maybe get pulled after that. Has only let up 1 hit tonight. Struggling with some control here, though, to Rescio. It's 3-0.
Rescio, towards the end of the season there, was really heating up, but in his last 2 games, he is hitless.
Rescio earns himself a 4-pitch walk to start off this bottom half of the 5th.
I would expect to see some motion very soon from the Diamonddogs bullpen now with that 4-pitch walk. And we do see, never mind, he's just talking in the infield.
Josh Blackmore will be next. Blackmore does not have a hit through 7 at-bats in the postseason stemming from last year. And tonight, he's also 0 for 1. Hit a very weak grounder back to the pitcher, that being in the bottom of the 3rd. He takes that one from Buckley. It's 1-1. Blackmore laying down bunt. He pulls it back. Snap throw over to first. Rescio gets back in time.
A nice job by Blackmore to pull that bunt back so it did not count as a strike. And also good job by Rescio getting back at first base.
2 balls, 1 strike here to Josh Blackmore. He'll try and lay down the bunt once again. He pulls it back in time, and now it's 3-1.
Blackmore, in the last 2 games he's played, he only has 2 hits in 5 at-bats. So, I mean, not too bad as of late. Needs to keep that going here for the Stallions tonight if they want to put any runs on the board in this 5th.
He will try and lay down bunt once again, pulls it back. Very strategic at-bat out of Josh Blackmore. and now there's runners at first and second with nobody out.
This is the kind of pressure the Stallions need to put on Buckley if they want to have any success tonight. We haven't really seen this pressure from the Stallions' offense tonight at all.
And now we'll see a mound visit. If there's any time to bunt for Tyler Bach, the time is now. Runners are at first and second with nobody out.
Yeah, especially because it'd be a great opportunity for sacrifice bunt, move those runners over, and Tyler Bach has a lot of speed, so there's a chance he could be hit at first base as well, which would leave the bases loaded for the top of the order.
And that top of the order starting with Andrew Amato, and you know that he is hungry for a hit. He's 0 for his last 4.
Yeah, so definitely big situation here for Tyler Bach coming up to the plate. Crucial for him to get on base or lay that sacrifice bunt down.
Bach coming to the plate. Runners are at first and second, nobody out here in the bottom half of the 5th. And this feels like a must-score situation if you're the Stallions right now. Corners are way in. They'll give a check over on Resio. Just want to make sure the runners aren't leaving too early. Bach expected to lay down bunt in this at-bat.
There is a guy warming up for the Diamonddogs right now. It is number 39, Matt Bruno.
Bach pulls it back. The pitch misses upstairs. It's 1-0.
The corner's playing in smartly because if they do feel that bunt, it'll be much easier for them to make a play at first base with Tyler Bach's speed.
Bach will step out. Runners are at first and second. Corners are in. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Bach lays it down. He misses right there. He's 0 for 6 in his last 6 bunt attempts.
Yeah, it's sent back a long time ago. I don't remember the last time he even tried to do a bunt attempt, but I do remember he was unsuccessful 2 times in a row in that game, whichever game that was.
He's got one more shot right here. 1-1. Bach gets it down on the third base line. He's chugging over to first. He beats out the throw.
That's what I was talking about. Why Tyler Bach is so dangerous at the bottom of the lineup. He has so much speed that if he bunts it down the line and you make a good play, it doesn't matter sometimes.
And immediately out of the dugout is the Mohawk Valley manager. He was not happy with that call.
It was a very close call over there at first base, but I think the umpire made the right call out there in the field.
He is not happy with that one whatsoever. We'll give you the replay right now of that play. Bach laying it down. And I think he beat it out pretty cleanly.
I think so too, Dan. I mean, it was a close play made by Buckley in the mound, but he kind of threw off his back foot, not really putting his full force into it, and that's probably why he wants it.
And isn't this storybook in what could be Andrew Amato's last game here at Cantine Field? He comes to the dish with the bases loaded and nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Takes the first pitch he sees for ball 1. Amato has been waiting for this moment. He had a home run in last year's postseason. Trying to make it back-to-back years in the playoffs where he goes yard. Fouls that one off. It's 1-1.
Amato only does have 1 home run this year. Dealt with a couple injuries this year, so wasn't able to play as many games as he'd like to. But we know he definitely has that power, Dan. He led the league last year in home runs with 13.
Bases are loaded. Nobody out. Here's the pitch. Amato loops that one into right field. Hughes is going to grab it, tagging home as Resio. Here's the throw. It's not in time. Stallions have tied this game at 1.
That's a great job there from Andrew Amato, just putting it in the outfield and letting Resio come home on the tag up, and now the ball game is tied. Completely different attitude for the Stallions. We got runners on first and second, 1 out here. and can do some more damage.
And now we'll see a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen for the first time tonight for the Diamonddogs. Bo Buckley comes out of this game. He goes 4 1/3, 1 earned run given up, 2 hits. Bach is at first, Blackmore at second, Nate Manley due up. We're tied at 1 here at Cantine Field in a single elimination playoff game. We're going to step aside. Bottom of the 5th. It's Matt Bruno on to relieve Bo Buckley here in the bottom of the 5th.
Bruno for the Diamonddogs this year has appeared in 12 games. He started none of them. Has 19 1/3 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts. He's given up 14 walks, 10 hits. Has an ERA of 3.72, a record of 2-0, and he also does have 1 save, but obviously this is not a save situation.
He's one of the Diamonddogs' best relievers out there in the pen. Buckley is responsible for Bach and Blackmore at second. First pitch misses outside for ball 1.
Definitely a good move for the Diamonddogs here, bringing in Bruno with only 1 out and runners on first and second.
Manley hits this one into left center field. Chasing is Rasmussen. He makes a nice play. Blackmore will tag to third. There's runners at the corners with 2 outs.
That's a great play by Rasmussen out there. I would say probably a run-saving play by Rasmussen out there in center field. If that gets over his head, Josh Blackmore definitely can get home from that hit.
Mario Trivella will step in now. He's 0 for 2 tonight, a 5-4-3 double play and a strikeout. Trying to wipe all that away in this at-bat.
One of the most consistent batters for the Stallions all season long. Definitely needs to come through here at a big spot.
This one gets by McAllister. Coming home is Blackmore. The Stallions have taken a 2-1 lead.
Trivella won't come through, but the Stallions will take that right there. A free pass, and Josh Blackmore now helps Stallions take the lead.
That run will go on Bo Buckley's line. Stallions taking a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. We're held to just 1 hit through 4 innings under Bo Buckley, but are showing signs of life here in the bottom of the 5th.
Bruno now in a 2-0 count to Trivella, too.
Trivella fouls this one off to the right side, and he wants that one back. Fastball right down the middle.
I mean, he's 2-0 count there. He's probably expecting fastball all the way, so he's got to be annoyed with himself after missing a fastball in the middle. definitely wants that one back.
McAllister does a nice job grabbing that one. Counts 3-1.
Trivella definitely has a solid chance of getting another fastball here. If he did his homework on that last one, he has to be a little bit more ahead, and he can drive it somewhere in the gap.
Bach is at second. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Trivella chops that one foul, and the count goes full.
Trivella does already have a strikeout in this one. It came last inning in the 4th. That's 26 strikeouts on the year.
Bruno deals. Trivella stays alive once again, and the count stays at 3-2. Stallions would love to add one more here in the bottom of the 5th. 1-run lead, most definitely not safe against these Diamonddogs. Here's the payoff. Bruno blows the gas by him. Does a nice job limiting the damage here in the bottom of the 5th, but the Stallions take the lead. They're up by 1 as we head to the 6th. Top of the 6th here in Saugerties. Dan Shalom with you alongside Casey DeSell in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. And Casey, the Stallions might be up by 1, but this Diamonddogs lineup is not going to go down without a fight.
Definitely, the Diamonddogs lineup has had a runner on base every inning. I mean, they have 9 runners left on base in this one so far through 5. So they know they're going to put pressure on the Stallions pitching staff no matter who's out there tonight.
It's really about the control of these pitchers. We saw Speranza struggle a little bit with his off-speed. More of the same for Fusco in his first inning of work, that being in the 5th. First batter he's going to face here in the 6th is Levi McAllister. Takes a first pitch strike.
Yeah, Fusco was off to a very fast start when he came in the 5th inning, but then hit Phelps, walked Nomura, and finally got out of the inning, striking out Hurd.
Misses upstairs with the fastball. It's 1-1. Fusco deals. Off speed misses at the knees. It's 2-1.
It's a good pitch there from Fusco. Usually calls a strike there, but lots of Panera behind the plate, just not calling it tonight.
Goes right back to it. That one's called for a strike, and the count's knotted at 2-2.
Almost an identical pitch there from Fusco, and it's called a strike this time, so maybe that one was just a little higher in the strike zone.
McAllister pops up to the right side. Going to be a tough play. Rescio bobbles it. That one gets into the outfield. Going to second is McAllister. And the Diamonddogs have the tying run in scoring position here with nobody out in the top of the 6th.
The first error committed tonight from either side comes from Ryan Rescio. Tough play out there in right field for him. All 3 converging out there, but unable to make the play. And one thing you don't want to do, especially against the Diamonddogs, is make errors. You know why, Dan? Because
Tell me why.
The Diamonddogs have the best fielding percentage in the PGCBL and the least amount of errors committed.
That's a recipe for success. Ethan Hughes will try and get McAllister home to tie up this game. He cuts and misses at the first pitch for strike 1.
Spam the right one. You're good.
McAllister is at second. He reached on the E4. Hughes tries to lay down bunt. Fusco ran it inside. And they'll say he pulls it back in time. It's 1-1.
Hughes jumps out of the way of that fastball from Fusco. Looks like it kind of scared him out there in the batter's box.
Corners are in. 1-1 count. McAllister over at second with nobody out here in the top of the sixth. Hughes will lay down the bunt this time. Fish is on it. He'll throw to first in time for out number 1.
Really just a beautiful sacrifice bunt from Hughes. I mean, he did the same thing in his last at-bat.
Yeah, he's got 2 sack bunts on the day.
McAllister over to second base, so once again moving McAllister over another 90 feet, just this time to third base.
He puts Diego Taveras in a perfect position with McAllister over at third. Taveras just needs to put a ball into the outfield and we'll be tied at 2.
He's had a tough time doing that tonight. He's already struck out twice, and he only had a pop-out that barely made it to the outfield in his third at-bat in the fourth.
He takes a first pitch ball. Fusco with the advantage in this at-bat. Taveras stepping in the lefty's batter's box.
Unfortunately, this is the only lefty the Diamonddogs have in their lineup tonight.
Fusco once again struggling with that control. It's 2-0. Tying run sits at third. Stallions leading by 1 here in the top of the sixth. Very tightly contested playoff game here at Cantine Field. Fusco misses down low once again. It's 3-0. A walk in this scenario, not the worst thing in the world.
I was going to say 3-0 count here to Taveras, who's been a solid hitter. Probably the best hitter. No, third best hitter for this team all year round. But you don't want to make a mistake for him and have it be a tie ball game where you can rather just put him on first base with no damage done.
Infield is in for the Stallions. Taveras takes that one on the outside corner. It's 3-1. Fusco comes set. Here's the pitch. Lassa Panera calls it at the top of the zone, and the count goes full.
Fusco getting funky there with a 3-1 curveball in the zone. That really freezes Taveras, expecting a fastball at 3-1 count.
McAllister at third. Full count with 1 out here in the top of the sixth. Fusco deals. Taveras just got a piece of that one, and the count will stay full.
We were saying not a bad idea to walk Taveras here, but Fusco battling right back into this one makes it really way more interesting.
Tying run is at third. Full count, 1 out here in the top of the sixth. The pitch. This one should be deep enough to plate the tying run. Box got it. Tagging is McAllister. Throw nowhere close. We got a tie ball game here at Cantine Field. It's 2-2.
And then you see Diamonddogs just playing a little bit of small ball here in this top of the sixth. A sacrifice bunt to move McAllister over to third, and then a sacrifice fly to bring him home.
Both of the Diamonddogs' runs scored today have come by way of the sac fly.
And one of the Stallions have also been on the sac fly, so small ball is the name of the game tonight.
Both teams knowing they're not going to be able to outpower the other team need to do it by way of the small ball. This one misses upstairs for ball 1. Cristino Tufano at the dish. He's 0 for 3 tonight.
There you go, Dan. I know that name gives you trouble sometimes.
Got it that time. The 1-0. And it seems like when Fusco starts his at-bats, he's missing high in the zone.
Yeah, and then he just battles back and makes an interesting count again. But if he really wants to be successful and go longer in this ballgame, he's going to have to get ahead of these hitters early.
Locates with the off-speed for strike 1.
He's done a very good job of locating that curveball in this inning. I mean, he had that 3-1 pitch to Taveras in the last at-bat that was also called for a strike.
That one just misses at the top of the zone. 3 balls and 1 strike here to Cristino Tufano, the best hitter in this Diamonddogs lineup. Fusco deals. That one's called at the top of the zone, and the count goes full.
That one looked like it was a little high. I'm surprised that it was called a strike, but definitely Fusco's going to take that instead of a walk.
Lasso Panera, Sr., issuing a warning to the Diamonddogs head coach. He wasn't happy with that one. This one's looped over to the right side. Recio can't make the play. Second one of this inning. That's been hit to the exact same area, and Recio 0 for 2.
That one's going to go down as a hit, it seems, on the scoreboard, in the scorebook too. So only one error for Recio this inning. So
same type of play, though. That lazy fly ball to shallow right field.
I mean, yeah, the last one he definitely got all of Recio's glove. That one probably barely tipped it. So that's why it's going to go down as a hit instead.
And it's not really that fair to judge Recio over at second. He's a third baseman by trade, but has filled the role of second base with the Stallions' usual second baseman, Rich Rodriguez, being out of the lineup.
And, of course, Recio just done a great job batting as of late, so it's hard not to have him in the lineup in the playoffs.
Brody Rasmussen at the dish for the Diamonddogs with 2 outs. Tufano is at first. We're tied at 2.
Yeah, the only problem with allowing Tufano on base is you have to face Rasmussen, one of the most dangerous hitters in the PGCBL.
Fusco's got him on the ropes. It's 0-2.
Rasmussen this year does have 25 strikeouts in 42 games played.
The 0-2. That one clips Rasmussen on the leg. Third hit by pitch of the game dealt by the Stallion staff. And there's runners at first and second with 2 outs.
Crucial error there from Fusco. He's had a great curveball so far this inning, and that one gets away from him and barely tips the cleats of Rasmussen.
Thing that's going to bother him the most, he was in an 0-2 count there against Brody Rasmussen.
One you really just shake your head about when you're in an 0-2 count, you hit somebody.
So with runners at first and second and 2 outs here in the top of the 6th, Ryan Frontera will step in. First pitch misses inside. Derek Constance warming up in the bullpen. You would expect him to come into this game in the 7th if Fusco can get out of this top of the 6th.
The last time Fusco hit someone, he really lost his own. The next guy walked Nomura on 4 straight pitches, so hopefully he does not do that here to Frontera.
It's seeming like he is. That's 2-0.
And ever since that sacrifice fly from Tavares, they've had 2 outs, and they've allowed a single, and Fusco has hit a batter. So definitely some 2-out struggles here tonight.
And he's dealt 3 straight balls in this at-bat. It's 3-0.
In danger of loading the bases on a walk here. And with Phelps on deck, who's been on base 3 times tonight, not a good scenario to be in.
The 3-0. Misses upstairs. The bases are loaded for the 3rd time in this ball game for the Diamonddogs. And immediately we see head coach Colin Martin out of his dugout. He's going to make a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen. Derek Constance coming into this game. Stallions burning through their relievers. Diamonddogs putting the pressure on. They've got the go-ahead run at 3rd. Bases are loaded with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. We're tied at 2. We'll be right back. Bryce Phelps will step to the plate with the bases loaded, top half of the sixth. Derek Constance on the pitch. Phelps fouls that one off to the right side. Constance hasn't played a single game of collegiate ball just yet. He is a local kid, comes out of Kingston, New York.
Constance this year for the Stallions has appeared in 10 games. He's only started one of those, has 16 and 1/3 innings pitched. Also has 12 strikeouts. He's given up 7 walks, 17 hits, and has an ERA sitting at 3.3.
He's put into a pretty high-pressure situation right here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Diamonddogs with a go-ahead run at third, and you can feel the temperature rising in this game as time goes on. More anxiety building on both sides as we get to the 7th, 8th, 9th innings of this ball game.
The Constance in danger of walking in a run right here at a 2-1 count to Bryce Phelps. Phelps has 18 walks on the year in 37 games.
The 2-1. Constance goes back to the fastball, and the count's knotted at 2s.
Big pitch coming here from Derek Constance. Wants to put away Phelps on this pitch so he doesn't have to face a 3-2 count with bases loaded.
Fusco is responsible for all 3 runners on base. Constance trying to get out of the jam. Shakes off. Gets his sign, now deals. Wanted the fastball, yanked it way outside, and now a pressure-packed count. 3-2, 2 outs with the bases loaded.
That's not something you want to see from Constance on a 2-2 pitch. A fastball missing way outside, so now he has to really dial in if he wants to make a good pitch on this 3-2 count, bases loaded.
All runners will go. He misses downstairs. Constance allows the Diamonddogs to walk home the 3rd run of this ball game, and they lead it by 1 here in the top of the 6th.
That's now 3 straight walks stemming back from Fusco's hit by pitch and base on balls to Frontera and Rasmussen.
Luke Nomura will be next. The bases are still loaded. 2 outs. Constance misses outside. It's 1-0.
That's now 3 balls in a row from Derek Constance stemming from the last at-bat.
Constance steals. Misses upstairs. It's 2-0.
Constance really needs to find the zone right now against Nomura, a dangerous hitter at the plate who has 23 walks and had above 300 average in the regular season.
He's 1 for 1 tonight, 2 walks. Constance really struggling with his control. It's 3-0, and now he's at risk of walking home a 2nd run.
And Nomura definitely has the red light right now. That's 5 balls in a row stemming back from the last at bat.
3-0. Misses outside. It's a 4-pitch walk to Luke Nomura, and the Diamonddogs lead by 2.
That'll be 4 walks in a row, including the hit by pitch to Rasmussen.
We'll see a mound visit here from Rich Doobie. It really stems back to the Stallions having trouble getting out of innings when there's 2 outs on the board, Casey.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I mean, they had that sacrifice fly to Taveras. That was second out of the inning right there. Following that, single from Tufano, hit by pitch to Rasmussen, walk to Frontera, walk to Phelps, and walk to Nomura.
Both of the runs that have come across to score in this inning are tagged to Vince Fusco. The 2 that are walked, of course, and then the sac fly that he gave up also falls on him. Constance is now responsible for runners at 2nd and 1st. Justin Hurd will be next for the Dogs. If he reaches base, Mohawk Valley will have batted around in this inning. And it really stems back to that E4 by Ryan Resio to start off this inning. A tough play, but one that could have been made.
Yeah, it got all of his glove out there in right field. A tough play for him to make, but one you got to make in the playoffs.
Constance misses down low. Everything going wrong for this squad right now.
Yeah, and with every ball, with every walk, with every run scored, the Diamonddogs just gain more confidence out there, whether at the plate or the pitchers on the mound.
This one's popped up to the left side. Amato under it. Makes the play. Constance limits the damage here in the top half of the 6th, but not before the Diamonddogs jump ahead. They lead at 4-2.
4-2, Blue, what's up?
Matt Bruno out there for his second inning of work. It's going to be interesting to see if the Stallions can jump on him. He was just sitting on the bench for about 20 minutes after coming in for 2 batters in that top of the 5th.
Yeah, I'm sure Bruno,
Bottom of the 5th.
while he was hitting for a while, definitely appreciates the offensive surge from the Diamonddogs in that top of the 6th. Now is a 2-run cushion and takes a little bit of pressure off him.
Eddie Yaman will lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th, seeming like the Stallions are going to need one of those magical comebacks that they had against the Diamonddogs here 2 weeks ago if they want to advance.
Yeah, it's definitely, but thankfully not as big as last time. It was 5 runs going into the 8th. Hopefully it does not get to that mark again.
First pitch that Yaman sees misses high and away for ball 1. Diamonddogs have never won here in the playoffs. Trying to accomplish that feat here tonight. Big cut and a miss from Yaman. It's 1-1.
I mean, impressive stat for the Diamonddogs franchise for how long they've been in the league. They've only missed the playoffs 1 time, so it just shows you how well coached they are year in and year out.
Yeah, they've won 2 PGCBL championships, one in 2015, one in 2017. And they've only missed it once, like you mentioned. That was in 2021 when the Stallions went on to win the PGCBL championship. And it's really not surprising that this game is so tightly contested. The last 4 matchups between these 2 squads have all been decided by 1 run. Yaman hits this one into center field, a lazy fly ball. Rasmussen is there for out number 1.
That's definitely an at-bat that Yaman's going to want back. I mean, it's a 3-1 fastball. It's just late on it. It's a weak fly ball to center field. He's going to be hanging his head over that one.
Brandon Fish will be next. He's been the best bat in this Stallions lineup so far tonight, 1 for 1 with a walk. Takes the first pitch upstairs for ball 1.
I mean, like we mentioned in the first inning, or excuse me, second inning, when we saw Brandon pitch in his first at bat, he's just been such a great addition for this team since he got here a couple weeks ago.
Trying to give Justin Ford a chance at tying up this game here in the bottom of the 6th. That one misses upstairs, and now Bruno is 1 pitch away from dealing a 1-out walk.
Bruno, while he's definitely throws really hard on the mound, he's had some control issues in this one. That last count 3-1 to Yaman, and now he just walked Brandon Fish. So
Fish earns himself a 4-pitch walk, his second base on ball of the night. And now Justin Ford will step to the plate. He represents the tying run in this ball game.
Definitely the guy you want at the plate, trailing 2 with a runner on base. Ford led this team in RBIs in the regular season and also has 2 home runs in the year. 1 here at Cantine going off the stable deck.
That other one at Shuttleworth Park. Ford, the best hitter by average among qualified batters in this squad in the past campaign. Sported a .355. Hits this one right over to second. Tufano will throw to second. They will get Fish on the fielder's choice, and there's 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Definitely not at bat that Ford wants on his line right there. It's just such a clutch hitter for the Stallions all year round and hasn't been doing too well tonight at the plate. You know, he's going to need to come back up in his next at-bat and do some damage if the Stallions really want a chance in this one.
It's the second time that he's reached on a fielder's choice over to second tonight. Ryan Resio will be next. He takes a big cut and a miss at strike 1. And you see it with Resio. When he's ahead of the pitch or swinging at a fastball, he's really only swinging the bat with one hand. That left hand attaches.
Yeah, we saw this a lot in the previous game he played, which was against Glens Falls just a couple days ago. Really ahead of that fastball, and when he's not getting a lot of power in his swing.
He's down 0-2. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Justin Ford at first. Stallions trailing by 2. Bruno deals. Gets Resio on 3 pitches to end this bottom of the 6th. Stallions strand 1. Diamonddogs lead it by 2.
I give up on this.
Top half of the 7th, down to the final 3 innings of this ball game. Derek Constance is out there for his 2nd inning of work, and this could still be a 2-1 game, Casey. Stallions really letting the walks and errors get to them right now.
Yeah, in the top of the 6th, they allowed 4 walks, one of them being a hit by pitch to the Diamonddogs. So you limit those walks, and the Stallions are in a much better spot right now. I do have to say it's very uncharacteristic the Stallions allowed so many walks. They had the lowest amount of walks in the PGCBL with 179 coming into this game. So just very uncharacteristic for them.
They've given up 11 so far here tonight. Levi McAllister will start things off here in the top of the 7th. He was the one that led off the top of the 6th, reached on an E4, and then eventually scored. That one's in there for a strike. And Casey, I know you mentioned at the start of this game, Zach Morris, Sean Dertinger not being available. Do you start to think, hey, maybe we need to put them in this game?
You definitely have those thoughts right now if you're head coach Colin Martin or Rich Doobie, because those are probably 2 of your best guys out on the mound. And if they're not going to play tonight, right, I understand saving them for the best team in the league, the Mohawks, tomorrow, but you can't save them if you're not going to play them.
You got to make it there first.
Yeah.
We know Matt Drillings is getting warm in the bullpen now for Saugerties. This one is ripped out into right center field. Bach going back to the track. He makes the play. 1 out here in the top of the 7th.
It really just shows you Tyler Bach's speed out there. That ball was crushed by McAllister to deep center field, but Bach able to use those legs and track that one down.
Ethan Hughes will be next. He's had 2 sacrifice bunts in his last 2 at-bats, but I don't think this is a sacrifice bunt scenario.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if he was in a bunt here. I don't know why he would, unless he has unheard of speed that we don't know about.
Hits this one into left field. Amato is going back. He's on the track. He brings it down. 2 long fly balls results in 2 quick outs here in the top of the 7th.
That ball was hit a mile high by P. It was way up there, but thankfully the dimensions of this ballpark are not like the
That would have been gone at Shuttleworth Park, no doubt about that.
The Mohawk made that play.
Top of the order here for the Diamonddogs, Diego Taveras stepping in for a 5th time tonight. And even though the Diamonddogs are only leading by 2, this will be their 5th rotation through the lineup. The Stallions are still searching to get through their 4th.
Yeah, and the Diamonddogs last night, you see their top few guys in this roster. They all had 5 at-bats, so some of them might get 6 tonight, which is a lot for a playoff game.
The 2-0. Off-speed finds the zone for strike 1.
You see Constantly gets 2 quick outs here in the top of the 7th. Then he throws 2 balls in a row, and I just don't get why. Because you should have a lot more confidence after getting 2 quick outs in an inning, and then you just go out and throw 2 balls in a row.
He recovers with 2 straight strikes, and it's 2-2.
It's a good thing, yeah, he's battled back here to tie the count at 2s. Hopefully can get to Taveras to strike out for the 3rd time in this game.
Constant sets deals. Taveras just stays alive, and the count stays at 2-2.
And that ball was hit so hard, it chipped some of the brick off the backstop. So, well, that would be in the way of that foul ball then.
Here's the 2-2. Misses outside. The count goes full.
Very uncharacteristic from Manley behind the plate. Just didn't squeeze that curveball on the outside and went on top of his glove in against the backstop.
The payoff. Misses on the outside. It's a 2-out walk here for Diego Taveras.
That's I think that's a strike from Derek Constance right there in the outside corner. Not really sure where it missed. I would love to see the replay on that one.
That'll give Cristino Tufano a chance here at the dish. Taveras is at first with 2 outs. Constance deals. Misses upstairs, and we take a look back at that pitch right there. Just missing. So
yeah, it
matter of inches right there.
Was off the outside corner there from Constance.
Lazy fly ball over to right field. Resio will make the play in shallow right. Constance doesn't allow the 2-out walk to get to him. We're still trailing by 2 here in the top half of the 7th. We've hit the 7th inning stretch here at Cantine Field, and we're going to keep it right here. Bottom half of the 7th here at Cantine Field. Time for the Stallions offense to get going. Just 2 runs and 2 hits through 6 innings so far.
Yeah, their offense has pretty much been abysmal. Really, most of the runners coming via the walk. So they're going to have to string some hits together tonight if they want to come back and beat the Diamonddogs.
That one misses upstairs. Blackmore tonight, 0 for 1. He walked in his last at-bat, eventually stole home to give the Stallions at the time a 2-1 lead.
He's now seen 2 balls in a row here.
3-0.
3-0. Our scoreboard's not right.
3-0 count for Josh Blackmore here in the bottom of the 7th. Bruno deals right down the middle for strike 1. That one finds the zone once again, and the count goes full.
There is an arm for the Diamonddogs out there in the bullpen. That'll be number 30, Tyler Odella.
Blackmore with a cue ball shot over to second. Tufano brings it in for out number 1.
Not what you want from the leadoff guy in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's crunch time. They need runners on base right now, and that certainly is not a good start.
And the thing Blackmore is going to be kicking himself about, he was in a 3-0 count in that at-bat.
Yeah, definitely going to hang his head about that at-bat, but needs to get back, and in case he gets up again, needs to be ready.
Tyler Bach, the 9-hole hitter, will step in now. He takes a first pitch strike. Bach laid down a bunt in his most recent at-bat, that being in the 5th. Loaded the bases for the Stallions with nobody out.
Yeah, Bach, with that bunt, has one of the 2 Stallion hits tonight.
That just shows how much of a struggle it's been for this squad against a dominant Diamond Dog pitching staff. This one's flared into shallow center field. Rasmussen brings it down, and there's 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th.
It's really just been a disappointing night for the Stallions at the plate. For a team that came into this one 3rd in average in the regular season, it's just been really slow offensively.
Andrew Amato will be next. He had a sac fly in the 5th. That plated the run that tied the game. And then eventually in that 5th, Josh Blackmore would steal home to give the Stallions a 2-1 lead. We really haven't seen the same Andrew Amato, though, in 2024 that we saw in 2023. That partly due to injuries, but he's been frustrated with himself at the plate in the last week or so.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he was even frustrated with himself when he went 2 for 5 with 4 RBIs. And that's not
2
even
doubles.
a bad night for anybody. He's used to that last year when he was on a tear, and unfortunately, it's hard to live up to that same year. I mean, MVP's hard to repeat.
Fouls this one off to the left side. It's a 1-2 count.
But by any means, Amato has had a great year. Still above a 300 hitter in the regular season, so nothing to really look bad at.
Bruno will step off. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Andrew Amato. The pitch. Amato goes down swinging. Struggles continue for the Stallions here in the 7th. They go down 1-2-3. Diamonddogs hold a 2-run lead as we head to the 8th. top half of the 8th here at Cantine Field. Time to take a look at our in-game stats presented by Pack Up.
Yeah, I mean, really, the Stallions, although they haven't had many runners left on base, it's because they haven't put anybody on base in this one. I mean, you're looking at the score, it's 4-2. Obviously, the Diamonddogs, the hits, very minimal for both teams, only 4 the Diamonddogs, but the Stallions only have 2 hits, and it's the 8th inning. That's not a good stat at all. Of course, the Stallions have that 1 error and really left on base. Although the Diamonddogs have 12 left on base, the Stallions only have 5, and it's because they've had pretty much nobody on base the whole game.
Yeah, and it shows you that this game could be a lot worse than the stats are currently saying. 12 left on base for the Diamonddogs. They've had the bases loaded 3 times in this game as well.
Yeah, it shows you how poor the Stallions offense has performed tonight in the second round of the playoffs.
You would expect more out of a veteran squad like this, but it's going to take another 8th inning miracle to come back in this game. If you're not sure what we're referencing, last time these two teams played, Stallions trailed 7-2 headed into the 8th. They put up 5 in that 8th, including an Eddie Yaman grand slam to tie the game at 7, and then would eventually walk it off in the bottom of the 9th.
One thing I will mention is Eddie Yaman is due up in the bottom of the 8th inning, so maybe some more 8th inning magic from him.
New arm on the mound here for the Stallions is Matt Drillings.
Drillings for the Stallions this year has appeared in 6 games, only started 1 of those. Has 9 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, he's given up 6 walks and 10 hits, and has an ERA sitting at 7.
First batter he's going to face here in the top of the 8th is Brody Rasmussen.
I will say, though, although his ERA is at 7, it doesn't really give you the full story. Only 1 game was bad for him, and that was against Amsterdam here at Cantine, where he gave up 7 runs.
This one shot into right field. It's a leadoff single for Rasmussen here in the top of the 8th.
That's surprisingly Rasmussen's first hit of the night, but he has been on board twice with a walk, and actually 3 times, one was hit by pitch.
Ryan Frontera will be next for the Diamonddogs. Rasmussen at first. There's nobody out here in the top of the 8th. Frontera will try and lay down bunt. He pulls it back, and it seems like with a lot of these Stallions pitchers, just throughout the season, the ERAs are so high because of that one disaster outing against the Amsterdam Mohawks.
Same thing happened to Liam Powell, who's already pitched in this game.
And Vince Fusco.
Yeah, and Vince Fusco.
Frontera lines that one to the right side foul. Counts 1-1.
You know, Dan, I was scrolling through my Instagram earlier today, and I noticed the Oswego baseball Instagram posted something on their story, and it happened to be Matt Drillings a day in the life.
So Drillings actually started his day at 5 a.m. this morning, worked at the golf course, then eventually finished up with his day job, went over to the facility, came here, and is now pitching. Bunt misses once again. It's a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here to Ryan Frontera.
I wondered if Drillings could have got us a discount at the golf course. I didn't know he worked there.
Nobody knew until today.
Lazy Swan, not too far from here.
Well, Drillings has been up for 16 hours at this point.
Yeah, I know. It's a long day for him. So for
Trying to
him
use the last bit of his energy here tonight in this top of the 8th. The 1-2. Strike 3, he's got him. Drillings with a big strikeout, and there's 1 out here in the top of the 8th.
It definitely used a lot of his energy today on the weeding he was doing at the golf course, but he has enough energy to overpower Frontera right there for a strikeout.
Bryce Phelps will be next. Phelps has walked in his last 3 plate appearances. 2 times he got hit by the pitch, and last time he had an RBI walk against Derek Constance. First pitch misses upstairs for ball 1. Seems like all of that playoff energy sucked out of this stadium here at Cantine Field after the 3 spot that the Diamonddogs put up in the 6th.
And it makes sense. I mean, it's hard to root for the Stallions when they're not doing anything offensively. I mean, they've been really solid, I think, as pitching-wise. I mean, only allowing 4 runs. They've left 12 runners on base. So they're doing their job. It's just the offense has been abysmal.
The 1-1. Grounded back to Drillings. He'll throw to second. It's a tough play right there. It'll go down as an E1 on Drillings. Made a bad throw to Trivella at second.
Yeah, unfortunately, Drillings, he made a great play to trap the ball on the mound there. Just fired it without really taking his time to second base, and he spiked it in the dirt right in front of Resio.
Trivella really had no shot at that one right there. Had to play catcher and just block it from going into the outfield.
A good play by him to stop it from being worse.
So with runners at first and second, Luke Nomura will dig in for the Diamonddogs. He's another guy that has reached base by way of the walk in his last 3 plate appearances.
He's also, he's been on base in all 4 of his plate appearances, a single in the second as well.
Launches this one into center field. Bach, a couple steps short of the track, pulls it in for out number 2. Tagging over to third is Rasmussen. He'll make it in there without a throw. There's runners at the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, although that does advance Rasmussen, there's 2 outs, so there's no opportunity for a sacrifice fly run score here. Just it has to be a hit if they want to score a run right now.
Justin Hurd will step in now for the Diamonddogs. Runners are at first and third with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Matt Drillings trying to keep this game as close as possible for the Stallions. They have 2, 3, 4 coming up in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch is fouled back by Hurd. It's 0-1. Hurd today 0 for 3 with a walk.
Hurd, as I mentioned before in this broadcast, leads the PGCBL in strikeouts, so Matt Drillings just has to attack him right now and get this inning.
He's got him 0-2. Hurd also has a strikeout here tonight.
Okay.
0-2 pitch. Drillings 1 strike away from getting out of this top of the 8th. Here's the pitch. Misses down low.
That's a good 0-2 pitch there from Drillings to Hurd. I mean, we know this guy is susceptible to the chase. Has 52 strikeouts coming into the game, so it's a really good pitch there, 0-2.
Runners at the corners, 2 outs. The 1-2 pitch. Hurd stays alive, just fouls it off. Stallions needing this out. They can't let the Mohawk Valley lead grow.
I think Drillings goes back to that fastball right there. You saw Hurd barely get a piece of it. So you can just throw it for a little bit more velocity. You'll probably blow right by him.
Drillings deals. Hurd checks his swing. He does not go. The count's 2-2.
Drillings opted to go to the curveball there again in the dirt to try and get Hurd to chase, but Hurd doing a good job of staying disciplined right there.
2-2 count, 2 outs, 2 runners on base here in the top half of the 8th with the Diamonddogs leading by 2. Crowd getting loud. Drillings shakes off his sign, now comes set. Here's the pitch. Strike 3, he's got him. Drillings keeps the Stallions in the game. Diamonddogs still lead it by 2. Back here at Cantine Field, Stallions trailing this game by 2. Huge work right there by Matt Drillings to keep this a 2-run game with 2 runners on base in that top half of the 8th.
Yeah, he had those 2 runners on base, but was able to slam the door, the strikeout to Justin Hurd. I mean, sorry, but no surprise there. Justin Hurd leads the league in strikeouts, has 2 tonight, 54 on the season combined between playoffs and regular season. But, yeah, you cannot understate enough how big of a job that was by Matt Drillings to keep this into a 2-run deficit.
And it gives the Stallions some momentum here in the bottom half of the 8th. They have 2, 3, 4 coming up, the best part of their lineup. It'll start with Nate Manley. He takes a first pitch ball. Bruno is out there now for his 3rd inning of work. The 1-0. And we saw this last time in the bottom half of the 8th. Stallions hitters knowing it's time to get serious. The plate discipline just switches on for this team in an instant.
It definitely does. I mean, right now, you're seeing it, Nate Manley in a 2-0 count. And Nate Manley has walked 2 times already tonight and is close to doing it again.
3-0 count here to Nate Manley. Bruno sets, now deals. Finds the zone for strike 1.
I mean, you're taking all the way there for Nate Manley anyways, so no surprise there.
Might even be taking right here. He does. It's a 5-pitch walk for Nate Manley to lead off this bottom of the 8th.
That's big for the Stallions to get their leadoff man on base here in the bottom of the 8th, especially with Mario Chavella, someone that has been on base a lot for the Stallions this year. I mean, batting average around 300, leads the team in walks, so big spot for him.
Struggling tonight, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, and a 5-4-3 double play. A chance to erase all of that here in this at-bat.
Yeah, really, if Chavella just finds any way on base, it's big for the Stallions squad right now.
Manley is at first. There's nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Trevella represents the tying run of this ball game. Hits this one into the left center field gap. That one's going to get down. Manley is chugging around third. He will be sent home. There'll be no throw. Trevella with an RBI double, and the Stallions are within 1.
Like I mentioned, it's big for Mario Trevella to get on base any way possible, but he does it in an even bigger way than I thought he was going to. A clutch double for Mario Trevella there with no outs. Now you have your 4, 5, 6 guys due up, no outs, 1 on second base.
And we're going to see a Dallas Hot Wieners called to the bullpen here for the Mohawk Valley Diamonddawgs. Trevella is at second. There's no outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Stallions have plated 1 and are trying to tie up this game. We'll be right back. Bottom of the 8th, Stallions threatening to tie up this ball game. Tyler Hodella is on the mound now for the Diamonddawgs.
Hodella for the Diamonddawgs this year has appeared in 11 games, only started 1 of those. Has 18 and 2/3 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts. He's given up 9 walks and 10 hits. Has an ERA sitting at 1.92 with a record of 3-1. But one thing to note, He has 3 saves on the year, and it's the 8th inning. I believe this is a save situation.
They bring Hodella in high leverage situations to try and close out the ball game. Why don't we take a look back at that Mario Trivella double?
Yeah, I mean, like, what a clutch double this was by Mario Trivella. No outs in the bottom of the 8th. Nate Manley at first base. He hits it deep enough into the gap so that Nate Manley can come around from first base and score. Now Trivella sitting on second base, no outs. It's at a big spot for the Stallions to go ahead and take the lead here in the bottom of the 8th.
Eddie Yaman is due up for the Stallions, and this guy delivered in the clutch last time against the Diamonddogs in the bottom of the 8th. A little bit of deja vu here in the playoffs.
Definitely. I mean, the last time it was a bit more of a deficit. It was a 5-run deficit, which became 4, and then he hit that grand slam. But it could be due for another go-ahead home run here tonight instead of a game-tying run.
Crowd getting loud. They want to see these Stallions advance here tonight at Cantine Field. Yaman lays down the bunt. Very strategic move right there. Nobody covering. That ball gets into the outfield. Trivella comes home to score. We are tied at 4.
And there comes the small ball again. You don't see it much in the Stallions this year, but a perfectly placed bunt by Eddie Yaman, the guy that we've always seen at a home run in this scenario. And he's able to address second base because of the throwing error by, I believe, Herdman, that throwing error? Or maybe it was Hodella. I wasn't sure. But
so Yaman was not going to beat out that throw. It will go down as an error. That run will be unearned. We're tied at 4, and now Brandon Fish with a perfect opportunity to give the lead right back to the Stallions. Nobody out, and Yaman over at second.
That's what happens when you put pressure on the pitcher right there.
Fish threatening another bunt. He pulls it back in time. Counts 1-0.
Right there you saw everybody converging on that, and third base was kind of left wide open if Eddie Yaman was still.
Yeah, Yaman's got to take note of that. Nobody's covering over there at third. Fish lays this one down. Hodella will throw to first. He's accurate this time. Yaman does not go over to third. So a waste of an at-bat for Brandon Fish, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th.
A cardinal sin of baseball right there. You never bunt it back to the pitcher, and that's exactly why right there. You can't advance the runner, and you're going to be out of first base in a single time.
Still a prime time opportunity. Yaman is at second, Ford at the plate. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. We're tied at 4. Hodella deals. Misses upstairs with the off speed. It's 1-0. We knew this game was going to come down to the wire, just didn't know when. This the biggest moment so far in this contest. Dangerous 2-0 count here to Justin Ford.
Yeah, Justin Ford, the best hitter for average in the regular season on this team, and the RBI leader on this team, 5th in the PGCBL. So cannot make a pitch here to Justin Ford that he can hit a long way, because he will hit it far.
He fouls that one straight back. Counts 2-1. Yaman is at second. Stallions have tied this game at 4, plating 2 runs with nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Ford trying to deliver the go-ahead hit. Here's the pitch. He hits it weakly over to short. They're going to throw to third. The ball pops out. Ford will get to first. Both runners are safe. And now there's runners at the corners with 1 out.
That's a very ill-advised throw for me. I'm not sure what Nomura is doing over there. You can take the free out at first base, and it's going to be 2 outs. Eliminates the sacrifice fly. You just have to focus on the batter. But now there's only 1 out. Runners in the corners, and that's a lot harder to deal with than just what mattered on third, 2 outs.
And they still haven't scored what that will go down as. I'm pretty sure Ford is going to be safe on the fielder's choice. That's the 3rd time in this game he's been safe on a fielder's choice. Resio at the dish now. Go ahead run 90 feet away. Resio just needs to put a ball into the outfield, and the Stallions will take a 1-run lead headed to the 9th. He pokes this one into left field. It will get down. The Stallions lead at 5-4.
A clutch at bat from Ryan Resio. He comes through in the clutch again. He did it very early in the season against the Mohawks to walk it off against them, only the third game of the year. Puts the Stallions ahead here with a nice, hard line drive single to left field. And now this crowd's really loud, Dan.
And it's 8th inning flashbacks for these Diamonddogs. They let up 5 last time here at Cantine Field in the bottom of the 8th. They've let up 3, and there's runners at first and second still with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, definitely getting flashbacks to that last 8th inning for sure. When they had that 5-run lead and blew it. I mean, this time it was only 2 runs, but they've really blown it now in the playoffs.
And Tyler Hodella has not had it since coming into this game. He came in for Matt Bruno after that RBI double by Trivella, but really hasn't had his stuff so far.
Yeah, definitely hasn't had his stuff. And because of that, we see some activity in the Diamonddogs bullpen. Out there, number 12 is Marcus Sanders.
Josh Blackmore at the plate. He takes a first pitch strike. Runners at first and second. Stallions with a chance to blow this game wide open here in the bottom of the 8th. 1-1 count.
We've seen Blackmore with some big hits this year. One going off the wall out there in left field a couple of games ago, actually.
Fouls that one back. And regardless right now, it will be a save situation in the top half of the 9th. There's nobody warming in the Stallions bullpen. Seems like Matt Drillings will be thrown out there for the 9th.
And it makes sense. Drillings did a good job. Even though he allowed runners on base, he stayed calm out there and delivered for the Stallions.
Blackmore is caught looking for out number 2.
That's a big out there for Hodella on the mound.
Tyler Bach will be next for the Stallions. Runners are still at first and second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. You can feel the energy here at Cantine Field, similar to when the Stallions knocked off the Mohawks in walk-off fashion in the first home game of the year.
Yeah, very similar to that time. I mean, I remember calling that game. That was unbelievable when Resio walked it off here against Amsterdam.
And he delivered once again with an RBI single that put the Stallions ahead 5-4.
It really just shows you how clutch Ryan Resio truly is.
It's a 2-0 count here to Tyler Bach. That one finds the top of the strike zone. It's 2-1.
Smart take there from Tyler Bach, 2-0 count. We've seen Hodella be a little wild in this one so far, so don't have a chance to swing at a bad strike. Oh, result in a ground out or a pop out.
That one misses way upstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike here to Tyler Bach.
And if Tyler Bach does get a board, that brings her to the top of the order once again with the bases loaded.
Bach with a big cut and a miss right there, was swinging out of his shoes, and the count goes full.
Yeah, he swung so hard he took a few steps out of the box after that hack.
Full count, 2 outs, bottom half of the 8th. Both runners will be released. Here's the payoff. Gets Bach swinging for strike 3. Stallions strand 2, but not before they take the lead here in the bottom half of the 8th. Matt Drillings is on to try and close this one out in the 9th. Last 4 matchups between these two squads have been decided between 1 run. Stallions hoping that the 5th falls in their favor. They're 3 outs away from moving on to their 2nd straight PGCBL East final.
Yeah, just 2 outs away. I mean, the guy that's going to do it for him is going to be Matthew Drillings on the mound again. He was out there for the Stallions in the 8th inning. Had a little trouble, but was able to get out of it. A couple of Ks in that inning.
Stallions have taken down the Diamonddawgs once before in the playoffs. That was in 2022 at Mohawk Valley, a 6-4 win. This top half of the 9th will start off with Levi McAllister. He had a sac fly, which scored the first run of this ball game. That all the way back in the 2nd inning. First pitch from Drillings gets McAllister with a big cut and a miss. It's 0-1.
A first pitch curveball there from Matt Drillings really just fools McAllister out there. He was hunting fastball.
That one misses upstairs. It's 1-1.
Drillings definitely releasing a little too early on that pitch right there. Really high.
This one's popped foul to the right side. Counts 1-2.
Good fastball there from Drillings in on the hands. He gets on McAllister too quickly for him to put the barrel on it. Jams him. That's why he pops it up over there to the first base side.
The 1-2. Misses upstairs. McAllister today 1 for 4, excuse me.
And the only time he got it hit, he did come around to score.
2-2. That one just misses at the top of the zone, and the count goes full.
I'm not sure where that one missed. It looked like it caught the inside corner for sure, but I guess not.
Not good enough for Joe Lassa Panera Sr. behind the dish. The payoff. That one misses inside. Levi McAllister works a leadoff walk here in the top of the 9th.
I was going to say, McAllister, when leading off the inning, has been great for the Mohawk Valley Diamonddawgs tonight. Has a single walk, and he reached on an E4. Or actually, yeah, that was the leadoff inning, too.
And we're going to see a pinch runner right here for the Diamonddawgs. It's going to be TJ Schmazel.
TJ Schmazel only has 4 stolen bases for the Diamonddawgs this year, so not a true speed threat over there, but that's only in 19 games played. Also, probably wasn't on base too much, only batted to 176 this year.
And you can almost guarantee that Ethan Hughes is going to lay down bunt in this scenario. Runner at first, nobody out. He's laid it down twice in this game. There it is again. Gets it down the first base line. Yaman will flip to first. It's in time. Stallions are 2 outs away from the East Division final.
Another great bunt by Ethan Hughes. I mean, this guy just produces perfect sacrifice bunts. It's his 3rd tonight, man.
The tying run sits at 2nd. Diego Tavares coming to the dish for a 6th time tonight.
Tavares in this one is 0 for 3, but he does have that sacrifice fly and a walk in the 7th. Has fallen victim to the strikeout twice.
This next out is crucial. Tying run sits at 2nd. First pitch. Misses at the top of the zone for ball 1.
Ball, almost like the one we saw to McAllister just off the outside corner there.
Schmazel is at 2nd. 1-0. In there for strike 1. And we see Mike Cunningham warming in the bullpen if things get out of hand here in the top of the 9th.
Yeah, it's good to have a guy warming up just in case of the event that Drillings can't finish off this 9th inning.
The 1-1. That one misses off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Diego Taveras. He went 3 for 5 last night with an RBI against the Oneonta Outlaws in the first round of these playoffs. Tonight it's been a struggle for him.
We've seen Drillings with a little bit of control issue here in this top of the ninth. He walked McAllister, and now he's in a 2-1 count.
This one's flied over to shallow center field. Bach has got it, and the Stallions are 1 out away from moving on.
That's a huge out there for Matt Drillings on the mound. Getting one of their best hitters, Taveras, to fly out to center field. It's a weak fly ball as well.
It'll be the best hitter in this lineup for the Diamonddogs with 2 outs. Cristino Tufano at the dish.
Another reason that fly out is huge is it was so shallow it didn't allow for McAllister to advance.
Stallions 1 out away from moving on to the East Division Final. This one's hit out into right field. Ford makes the play, and the Stallions are headed to their 3rd straight East Division Final.
What a play by Justin Ford out there in right field to make a diving play to end the ball game. It kind of reminds me of that Twins-Yankees game a while ago where Aaron Hicks made a play like that to end the ball game. What a play out there by Justin Ford.
Justin Ford, your hero. Stallions get the win 5-4 here at Cantine Field. It was the 8th inning that saved them once again, putting up 3 to take the lead. Drillings closes things out. He's credited with the save, and what a big win it is for this program.
Really just a big outing there for Matt Drillings on the mound. Did a great job just to come in and really shut the door against these Diamonddogs.
And we look back at that game-ending play by Justin Ford. Just beautiful.
Yeah, does a great job. He gets a great read on it. He knows it's not a ball hit in the sky right at him. He just runs as fast as he can, and he dives to his left, puts his gloves out, makes the snag.
So, Casey, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here. The Stallions are off to Amsterdam tomorrow night. Saugerties has only beaten Amsterdam once in the playoffs, and that was to win the PGCBL championship in 2021. They've made the playoffs in 6 different years, have lost at the hands of the Mohawks in 5 out of 6 of those years, and have not notched a win at Shuttleworth Park all season long. And you can just imagine the hostile atmosphere up in Amsterdam tomorrow night.
Yeah, but the one time they won the championship, they had to go through Amsterdam at Shuttleworth Park. So it's something they can do. Hopefully they can do it this year too.
That's going to be an exciting matchup tomorrow night. We will have that one here for you on the Stallions YouTube. That'll be a 6:30 p.m. pregame with a 6:45 start up there at Shuttleworth Park. Winner to the PGCBL championship. Stallions get it done here tonight. They come back and take the win 5-4 over the Mohawk Valley Diamonddawgs. They are undefeated against Mohawk Valley in the playoffs. For Casey DeSalle, I'm Dan Shalom. We'll see you tomorrow night.